Now, and look, man, we're going to throw it over to these guys because whatever. But right now, we are now $4.50 in the money on Nvidia. We're now $1.30 in the money on the TQs, and we're $5 in the money on Intel. As yeah, man, this chip trade does not stop. And oh yeah, by the way, yesterday we put it out. We bought some ARM at 201, so we're extending that out. It did hit 219 today. I'm not taking it out for 4%, but maybe I should.
Long term.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I will have a great trip in Minnesota. We just got the carry-on bag for the sticks. We're ready to rock and roll. But damn, man, these kids are way too expensive.
Old oversized luggage, man.
You might be smart stopping at one, man. 3 is bankrupting me to the high heavens. Maybe I got to get Marissa into the employment line at some point soon. Take care, everybody. We'll see you at 2 p.m. The big show is next.
Go get them, boys.
Clean hold off 380.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. Cold?
Yeah.
That's your boy, Joey Shivers. I'm Cherif. Let's say hello to everybody, guys. We got customer all-time highs. Way, he says. Black Sheep Trades, Mr. Leahy. Other Zinc, the OG, and Rev Boost, Durant, Gordon, Chris Compost. Good, environmentally friendly. Grunfeld, Toe Cutter. Don't do that. Sunny YT, Trust Fund, Baby. I aspire. Green Saber, Mike PD Writer, the OG Gorev, Hangry Wife. We got the Donkey Trader, Remy, J82, and Verkut, probably butchered that. Brady Powers, 2881. Katina still printing. I see him getting lit up on the other side over there. Minnesota Trader, Wendy's, frickin' tendies. Looks like you're the focus of a buyout there, Mr. Wendy's. Arcane Sway, Soul Queen, Trading Nurse. Todd 6060 and Megatone Kit. Shout out to Rex Banner and Tamaya Junkie. Princess J. Who else, man? We got Boosted, Red Spot, and Poor Robin Hood. Gary Atkins. Let's go. Right back at you, Gary. Byron Hart, the OG. Pablo. We got C. Jason Dew and Kiwi Boy. Shout out to the Kiwi Boy. Yeah, let go, Wendy's Tendies. You're going to make some money there. And Jordy VWAP is back. Ooh. I like that. Shout out to Jordy VWAP. It's been a hot minute. Stone broke since yesterday. And bronze hands. I had bronze hands when I got back from vacation. Now they're just kind of pale brown. Good morning, Joey.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a fantastic start to their day. Yeah, let's get right into things as we typically do. Market recovering. We called this earlier in the morning. We're like, all right, sell off a little bit as we start to rally here once again. NVDA creeping right up to that all-time high of $128 roughly. So yeah, not too bad of a look there. We have DRAM on our watch list in SLV, but the SPY dipping a little bit lower, filling up that gap, and then it's like, all right, let's start buying things, breaking through the volume-weighted average price and now heading towards some pre-market levels. You can see that support system right here at 739. Let's see if we start to see any form of rejection. But if not, off to the races we can continue to go, especially if these chip names and the financials continue to perform relatively well. Now, as for the NASDAQ, guys, you can see that we have some support levels that we're running into, bases, and then starts to climb. Is it being led by none other than NVDA? So that's what we have on our watch list here this morning. Always keep an eye on the SPY. The triple Qs here, silver putting in some strong momentum. I heard the gentleman to the right of us speaking about it this morning. So I'm like, all right, let's take a look at it. And I do like where it's sitting from a technical standpoint on the daily. So we're just like, all right, let's see if we can find a potential trade on there. I was focused on NVDA. This is our only trades here on the day. We had a little short to the downside, but then I seen us continuously bouncing off of this $116 level. Boom, rebounds. I was reading the tape. And I'm like, oh, okay, if we don't break this relatively soon, that means we're not going to go and test the low of the day. And then sure enough, a couple minutes later, we bounce right off of it and continue to scream a little bit higher, 5.5%. That's what you say, isn't it?
Yes,
higher.
sir.
So 5.4%. So NVDL, you're going to the Jays game.
I am.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
nice,
but
nice.
we lost the first two here, Joey, in the 3-game series.
Yeah, it's
Not a
all
good
right.
look,
Let me see
my
if Vladdy can wake up the bats. But anyways, yeah, guys. So a nice out there, small W on that one, and then we tried to short on the TQs. That didn't work out. We got out really, really quick. So nothing crazy going on this morning. I'm gonna wait for some higher quality opportunities, and it may take some time. I was like, all right, let's see if we get this breakdown consolidation. We had this consolidation zone within the pre-market. And then as soon as we started to pick up a little momentum, I'm like, yeah, what are we even doing here? Let's get out of this one. So we'll go 1 for 2 here on the morning, and we'll be a little bit more patient to see if there's any high quality opportunities. And that's what we're going to wait for, is just be that sniper and wait for those levels to come into play, wait for those setups to display themselves. And then sure enough, get involved. Before we send it over to Cherif, there's a couple of things that I wanted to touch on. Sure. And that's going to be via the options chain. We're going to take a look at what we have going on with NVDA as we did this morning, leading into the earnings report next Wednesday. So a week today, we're going to be seeing this juggernaut release its earnings report. And we were talking about, why are we all the way over here, this $235 marker that expires relatively sooner. So $240 potentially even in the works. So I love what we're seeing in this name. I'm forever long. I actually grabbed a little bit more this morning just because I'm like, let's rock and roll. I've seen a couple of analyst upgrades, and I think it's NVDA's time to shine. 235. 2 days after that report, not much size over here from what we've seen before, guys. 37,000 contracts. I mean, we've seen 200,000 at those levels, and us rejected. This ain't a thing but a chicken wing to absorb right here at 235 as we continue to climb, my G.
Where was that from? Is that White Man Can't Jump? Ain't no thing but a chicken wing on a string. You never heard that before? You didn't watch.
White Man Can't Jump.
White Man Can't Jump. No.
Joe, what is the secret?
Not the crappy remake, but I don't even know if it's crappy. I didn't even watch it. But go ahead, Joey. You had questions.
No. I'm just we're gonna brush that one off, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not PG-13.
No, it's not that.
Okay.
We just don't want to.
You don't want to go down that road.
We don't want to go down that road.
I respect that.
Yeah.
But you know what's going?
What's going?
I couldn't.
No,
there goes AIIO, Joey, into the highs. We got 89s on. It's showing 98s. Here comes $2. AIIO has been him, absolutely him, her, and everything else. These last few days, it's been putting in higher highs and higher lows, and here comes $2, and there is $2. We're wetting the beak on the way up. We're looking for a breach of 2. It's been very strong, and now TDIC's taking out 420. I was speaking to Rex Banter. Yes, you're right on point, right on cue with the message there, Rex Banter. TDIC is ramping up into that 430 area. I was telling Rex Banter in the chat there was resistance at 420. And ironically enough, we always joke around about 420 this, 420 that. Shout out to your boy Elon. No, but really, I was worried this was going to make a lower high. And that's what I said to Rex Banter. I'm like, look, brother, there is resistance at this level. Be careful, because we've been talking a lot about, bless you, Ram. We've been talking a lot about these things making area highs, attempting to retrace and then failing with a lower high and luring you in, right? That sucks. It never feels good to be lured into a crappy trade. But there goes AIIO again, taking out 203. It is a 204 high now. IO is really ripping here. We're going to see where it wants to rip to, and we're just going to follow it up. So now that TDIC is coming back down into 420, I don't know, man. I think I'm trying to pick some up here. Like it cleared 420. Current bar high takes us into 432. That's a respectable retracement. It's failing 420 though, this hot garbage. Look at this. It's right back into 410, 411, 412. So I don't know what to make of this. But you know what I'm making of this? AIIO just is the gift that just keeps on giving into another area high, 206. So this one's quite strong. Let's ride it up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a good one here, Joey. It's been quite respectful of the trend, quite frankly, into the 10 EMA on the 5. So we're just basing our trade on that. My out originally was $1.82. We got in $1.89. So we'll see where this one goes. Shout out to my man Tony SRX1. Ain't nothing but a chicken wing. Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe that's originally from somewhere else, but the chicken wing on a string thing. I'm pretty sure it's white man can't jump, but I could be wrong. We can check with chat a little bit later on. So I really, I'm looking at three main names, guys. And there are these ones right here. They're the top three. They're basically the top charts on your screen. The bottom ones, they're okay. We're going to hold them. We're going to keep an eye on them. But TDIC, I mean, this is a multi-day runner. It's also the #1 gapper in the market right now, 77%. So it requires our respect. It's also putting in higher lows. So, you know, it did fail that 430 break and came back down. But when you take a quick look at this, the higher lows are still in play. So TDIC needs our focus here. VELO as well. This is another former convict, which found a bid yesterday at around 4 o'clock, probably earnings, maybe not. I really don't care. But what I do care about is holding trend. And right now, it looks as if that it is respecting the 10 EMA on the 5 generally. It is also respecting prior areas of resistance as support. Case in point, the implied balance open looked like there was a lot of selling at 1950, then lo and behold, between 1915 and 19.25, then all of a sudden clears that level and now it's using it as support. So 19.5, 19.25, former area of support, but you can also see it had a lot of trouble clearing 20.25, 20.5. Same business that it had with 19. So it seems to be doing that whole thing. So I want to pick this up closer to the 10 EMA, if that's around 20.75, a little bit below 21, maybe 20.4, acceptable to me as well. But there goes AIIO into 10s. This is ripping, Joey, into 11s. AIIO is on its horse and is looking for that $0.25. We could get it sooner rather than later. Here comes 13 on AIIO. There is 14 on AIIO. It's really going. Wish I had more shares. Wish, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Last one here before we go to Adair at the big desk is MXCT. This one suffers from an affliction that many of these small cap gappers suffer from, which is a lack of volume, or requisite volume, I should say. Now, it's done on the day, 3.95 million shares, but on a $1.12 name, it isn't all that much. Moreover, it seems to have some resistance here in the high teens. We'll see if this one wants to hold up at around 10 to, I would say, 7. 10 being obviously that 10 penny level, and 7 obviously is the volume weighted average price. So we're going to keep an eye on this. But there goes AIIO, Joey, into the high, and that ends the trade for me at 220. Here comes the $0.25 at AIIO. This is really ripping up. Watch for a move back into 2 now, okay? We're looking for a move back into 2. I think we've had enough of a move above 2 so that we can use 2 now as support. We shall see when we get back from Adair.
Keep an eye here on GME and eBay. Now, we know earlier this week we had eBay rejecting GameStop's bid to purchase them as a company, or to acquire them rather. But then we had Ryan Cohen, CEO of GameStop, who really spearheaded this bid. He just went on Anthony Pompliano's podcast. Now, Anthony Pompliano, if that name sounds familiar, he was involved in the Open Door rally, and he was one of the second, I guess he was the second major investor in the retail space to get involved with Open Door. Regardless, on Anthony Pompliano's podcast, Ryan Cohen said that the fight for eBay is not over. So speculation here that GameStop could try once again to acquire eBay. GME did pop a little bit on this. Either way, keep an eye on GameStop and EBAY. Again, Ryan Cohen trying to renew the fight for GameStop to acquire eBay. Back to you.
So
Half stock.
Pardon me?
Half stock, baby.
Yo, people think, you know, he comes off, he came off a little goofy last time.
I loved it.
I like him too.
Yeah,
I like him.
yeah.
You know, I think he fits where he's playing into his
The
whole
persona,
narrative.
yeah,
He knows
exactly.
his followers don't like the suits, so to speak,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he's playing right into that narrative. That's right down his wheelhouse. We'll see what he can get done.
I
was actually reading a couple of articles that were a little bit
question.
Yeah, I know, right? Check the website.
Yeah.
Those are so good. But here's the deal. We talked about F-Cell, right? Remember that, Joey?
Yes, sir.
So I was just asked a question about F-Cell, and it gapped up pretty aggressively in the aftermarket yesterday to about 19.5. It failed to hold that level, and it's right back at 17.5. Now, I got to tell you, we got into a little F-Cell here, all right? We got into a little bit. I'm building a position in the sell. Here is the TA. Let's go into this. Let's talk about the trade. I'm looking for more between a zone here, between I want to say 16 to 15. If I can get that, I'd like it. That's a nice area of prior area of resistance. I know it's already been tested vis-a-vis this double bottom. This is the 4-hour chart, by the way. Okay. The 8 a.m. and the 12 p.m. candles from yesterday tested that 15. So I did miss it at that level. I'm looking for it. If it comes back there again, fantastic. I'm looking ideally, let's go to the daily here. Let's move out. Again, as we spoke about, I'm looking for that $20 level and that 17 we already kind of got to. I'm looking for 20 because that's the whole dollar level. And then we're really looking to kind of take off and get into some old areas of support. That looks to me to be about 30 to 35. I'm not saying we're going to get that, but this is a breakout. You're getting kind of the golden cross, but you did have a little bit of bamboozlement over here where you got the cross a couple of times, but this looks like a cleaner cross. The cross came in about late April. You're getting a breakout above technical levels. You've got a couple of bull flags. It's a sympathy play, likely with Bloom Energy, which is up another like 3 4/5 today. So gonna keep an eye here on FCell, Joey. I got into some shares, but who knows what is gonna happen here. So.
All right, good stuff. I'm just looking for some opportunities here, guys. We have DRAM bouncing, heading right towards the volume-weighted average price. Silver, a nice little bounce right here. You can see this consolidative base at 79.52, and then taking that additional leg higher. And we also have the SPY and the NASI, so we'll be patient to see if there's going to be any form of a curl over, or we're just going to continue to go here. A nice climb higher in NVDA back up to around that 228 level, 227.50, 9 to be exact there. So a lot of good strength. And I had that hunch, I was mentioning that earlier today, that if we dip, just look for it to be bought up. And Neil and I were thinking yesterday that we were going to have a short session. It's not the case. I mean, I was just going back doing some charting and preparing some of the options activity for you guys, and I look at the SPY breaching the high of the day in the post market, and then you just have complete recoveries in the majority of the larger names. And with that being said, is okay. Buyers are willing to step back in and buy these names at a discount. Where's Adam James at, man?
Yeah, he's not going to be here for a little while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll talk to you about that later. Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. I hope he's all right. Anyway,
yeah, he's cool. He's not going to be here for a while.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, like you're just buying these dips. You have that micro pullback. Let's head over to the daily and see what we got going on via MU, just from a daily standpoint, and see what we got. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that was cool. You get that $70 pullback. Oh, all right, let's just go and retest the highs here and see if we can breach it at this point. And buying pressure continuously stepping in. And it's the exact same thing with Sandus, SNDK. Not as strong as a recovery, but I mean, Micron just going absolutely off to the races. Somebody said regretty this morning. I thought was...
That's funny.
I thought I
like that.
That had me chuckling, man. That was a good one here. Yeah, there's some big regrets here. No regrets here over on. You know that one? No regrets.
That's a good one too. But regretty was pretty good.
Yeah, regretty right here. Not doing too good, and I mean it's still down substantially. The quantum space that we thought was going to go on a little bit of a run here hasn't necessarily been the case. 68% still off of those highs. It's going to take some time for these names to recover. And then QS, I heard you talking about QuantumScape this morning here, Cherif, and then Circle all the way back up to $128. Let's continue to climb in this name. I'm all about that stablecoin land. Why? Because I think it's good for Ethereum at the end of the day. The stablecoins have to be on some form of a blockchain, and it's usually or typically Solana and Ethereum.
Say more. There goes Joby, that piece of hot garbage, finally taking out $11.
So you're in Joby?
No, bro. You know I'm holding Joby. You know I've been in Joby for a minute, and I'm substantially out of the money.
That's all right.
But hopefully, you know, we're a lot closer now to being break even. I'm going to hold this. I'm straight up going to hold this. I did not suffer through that what's it called? What is it called when you drop? Drawdown on Joby to get out now. Yeah, I don't usually disclose the price of my positions, but in this case I will. I'm long around $15, so I am $4 still out of the money, and that was with pretty pretty aggressive DCA. Now, I still anticipate we're going to have a lot of resistance at $13, just because 13 was such an important area of technical support. You saw that over here initially in May of April of last year. You got it again in November, and you got it again at the 200 right there in late January. Then all hell broke loose and all the way down. So shout out to my man, Ozan Joby. Give me my man. Give me money. Yes. Ozan, you tell that stock to give me my money. No, but I do anticipate a lot of resistance in and around $13. So we'll see where we can get. You know what I'm really hoping? That there's some sort of military application in the short term for these, that they can actually, get a nice, good government contract, get a couple of these, put them out there. The U.S. government likes them. All of a sudden, the commercial industry sees the commercial applicability. That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
If they're really agile, I think that's going to be the case, right? Like, you've seen Avatar?
Sure, bro.
That's
Have you seen these things fly around?
Yeah, exactly.
They're
So
pretty good.
you'll see a military use for them in a matter of probably like just from like a day-to-day standpoint. I'll hop in that.
We'll see.
I'll hop in that thing.
My only concern is it's kind of dependent a little bit on how good the battery technology gets, because you want these things to have more flying time, right, and more range.
For sure.
And right now they're still a little bit limited. We're talking about 10, 15-minute flights and stuff like that. Hey, there's good application, especially in like cities like New York and Dubai and LA.
Absolutely.
Like, have you been in LA traffic before?
No.
It's like soul-sucking, bro. Yeah, I mean,
it's
what your boy Kobe
worse.
was, God rest his soul.
He's trying to get out of the traffic.
Exactly, on the helicopter. So that was kind of the move there.
Compared to Toronto traffic, how is LA traffic?
It's not even close.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's so much bigger. The sprawl, right? LA County, on Ventura County, on Orange County, the humanity doesn't end. Like, you just keep driving, there's more people.
30 million plus people there, I guess, right?
It's crazy, right?
Well, yeah, but the Liberty Village traffic is some...
Don't even compare it. I get Liberty Village is pretty bad. I respect that, but it's LA traffic. Anybody who's been on the 405 knows what's up, man. The 5, what is it, the 5 and the 405, right, guys? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you see, I think they're building... Where's the 430? So I think there's... construction. Yeah. So the 430, I think, is the next high. I don't know where it's supposed to.
Your boy Big Dougie?
Yeah, Big Dougie.
Big Dougie's
it's funny.
building?
So when I'm going on my hike, I'm driving down the highway, and it shows like highway expansion, the highway 430, right? And then it shows how
your
much
tax dollars at work.
No, it does that.
30 billion tax dollars at work.
The funny thing that made it comical was that like. The rest of the sign is like permanent. It's like printed on.
Yeah, the 30 though.
The numbers
they had to change the 30. You noticed that?
Yeah, the number is changeable.
Yes.
That's something that I found pretty funny.
Well, inflation may cost a little bit more, man. But your point very well taken there, Joey. That does seem to be the variable.
The one thing that has to be changed.
I'm loving all the comments in the chat, guys. Fantastic stuff there. All right. I live in LA, horrible traffic, hate the 405. Shout out to Big E. How LA has 5 lanes is still a parking lot. Yeah, dude. But the lanes, they're a little narrow, right? Like, I'm not just the only person that feels that way. Even I get that there's a lot of lanes. They got to pack it all in. But they do seem a little narrow to me, especially because a lot of y'all drive big cars down there. Might as well have a little bit of room. You need a little shoulder room there. All right, guys, continuing to watch TDIC. Assassino, this is not holding up, man. It's dropping off here. It's kind of putting in that lower high that I was worried about, but there goes AIIO through 220. Does it have the juice, though? Or is it going to be a failure? It had a lot of resistance at 220. There it is, the bid dropping below 220 again into 19s, 18s. Yeah, doesn't quite look like the buyers are stepping in. In fact, it looks like the sellers, at least locally, here are in control. Into 17 we go, back up to 18. Trying to see if we're going to work our way above 20. We're going to give this one to 16. Boom, right in, right at the right time. Right, we did get the right time there, but my old man's can't hang, right? So we're going to give it to 16 because that was a local area bottom on that one. What did we get? We got 25s, looking for the continuation now through 30. Let's see what this one has. It's a seller here locally at 26. I'm looking for a bigger move through 30. Below 16, we stop out. There's that local seller at 26. He just got killed. Into 28 again, into the high, but no continuation into 30. There's 28, 29 just showed up. Looking for a bigger move now. Definitely need that 30, but the 30 is eluding me at the moment. We're going to continue to watch this, see if it's got the juice. Joey, typically, you know, if you weasel on up into that third of a dollar, I usually have a bias that we get into the half dollar.
Yeah.
It's not a hard and fast rule, but, you know, just where people seem to have profit targets, that's why I think we make it up there.
Nice, nice. Yeah, nice trade there, my guy. We have voice crack. We have a trend line break right here in NVDA. You can see we're starting to form in consolidation zone right here. I'm looking for a potential bounce around this level here on DRAM, or maybe we sell and head a little bit lower and towards the low of the day on this one. But let's go NVDA. I think I told you guys this, but yeah, actually, no, I was telling Wayner this. I'm like, yeah, man, I just bought some more this morning. I'm going to continuously buy some more until the end of my days, really, because I like this. Anyway, that's a little extreme.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but
the point
hey, man,
well taken,
but very well taken. So you can see I'm getting my point across on that one, and I just like the rotation into it. Not going to count this bad boy out whatsoever. It's just like people always try to count Apple out for whatever reason it is. It's the same narrative here for me in NVDA. And then once Jensen just continuously is raking in cash and starts to offer a dividend, it's going to be even more comical, in my opinion. So yeah, let's rock and roll. I remember when Meta, on one of their earnings reports, they decided to start issuing a dividend.
I remember that.
And the stock just went absolutely insane. Why? Because all the aristocrats, myself, we're like, yes, dividend, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's what it's all about, man. It makes the most sense, in my opinion. But no, I'm obviously being sarcastic. I wanted to ask
the OG this. Darwin talking about ARM. When the OG Darwin says something, I usually take a
you have to listen.
5% and going,
Yeah, continuing to climb here. We can head over to our watch list. I'll actually ask you the question a little bit later when the time is right.
Go ahead, bro.
I was going to ask you, what is the most you've ever put on a coin flip?
Not much, Joe. I've rarely played that like in any serious way. Why?
Just asking.
Why? No, you can't put the question out there without. No, you have to explain why. That's a random question, and I need to know. I need to know.
It's from a movie.
Explain.
It's literally from a movie.
And what was the movie's context?
So
that I can understand.
So anyways, long story short, this guy walks into a gas station. He's a very bad individual, and he talks to the gas station. Yeah, he asked the gas station clerk.
Yeah.
He's just talking to him, and it was a totally weird conversation.
Sure.
But you have to know what this guy does. So he tells you to flip a coin, you call the coin, but little do you know that your life is on the line if you get it wrong. Yeah. So he's talking to the gas station clerk, tells him to flip the coin. He guessed it right, and then he gives him the quarter, but he doesn't tell him why, and he's like, "Don't put it in your pocket. It's like your lucky coin." And then he asked him, "What is the most you've ever put on a coin flip?" And not knowing what was on the potential side of that coin.
That's pretty intense there. Yeah.
I might be so
People are
new
saying
to this.
No Country for Old Men. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Anyways, did you know? Okay, so you know Two-Face, right? The DC character.
Yes.
Okay, did you know that he's also called Two-Face because of his coin is double face?
Did not know that.
Right?
I thought it was because his face was the
Well, that's what I thought as well too. He had two faces, but also in correlation to the double-headed coin.
Interesting.
All right, yeah.
I think it also has something to do with perceptions of lawyers as well, because Harvey Dent was a lawyer before he became Two-Face. I'm like a massive DC nerd, so there's like a lot of Two-Face.
A lot of two. See, he's double. He has that what is that double personality thing. All right, guys, let's head over to our watch list before we send it over to Cherif and see what we got going on. Rich Tech Robotics. I mean, it's a little bit quiet right now, so we just have to be patient and wait for the bounces at the right time. But, I mean, the narrative here today has been go long, and that's what I'm going to run with here. We've got to wait for that opportunity to get in, and I think we might have found one here on NVDA. So let's get involved in some NVDA and put some action on right now.
All right, brother. Good luck, good luck. Still dealing with AIIO over here. Looking for, it did breach prior bar low, so this could be... It did breach, but it got bought up pretty quick. So I'm assuming this was a bit of a stop hunt here. We'll have to wait and see. Back into 20 when it goes. It looks like the volume is slowing down, certainly, but it has had these sideways periods of consolidation. Case in point, the area where I got out. and then it ended up popping off and taking out area highs. I want to mention as well, VELO is of interest to me here, simply because it's finding support at a prior area of very clear technical resistance. That is the implied balance high. Moreover, it is the 20. Not like I always chart off the 20, but we keep it on there for times when it is relevant. VELO, a bit more expensive of a name. You're going to have to ante up a little bit to the tune of 20.5. Also, the spread on this one is about 15 to 25 pennies. So you're going to have to factor that into your risk assessment and your risk profile. But hey, looking good. Bottoming tail candle. You want to say a hammer candle, in fact. Now, what can we get above 2075? I may put my breakout trade on VELO right around that level, 2075, a good level as any. Let's go ahead and throw that on there. What do we got? We're going to go ahead and give this one the old community college try. And the point here is I don't typically take a lot of breakout trades at highs. Usually we're looking for a move back into a key area of technical support. But I do like this candle. I like that 2075 level as a former area of technical resistance. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on there, 2076, we're going to say. And we're going to go all the way up into possibly 82, just based on the spread. So that's what I've got. Now, that may not come in. We'll have to wait and see. While we do that, we can pack the patience here with VELO. This current candle opened up lower than the prior candle. I'm not liking the look of this one's jib, quite frankly. We're going to get out here for a penny loss, which is fine. Still very positive on it. And let's not forget TDIC, right? It's really trying to work above that, I want to say 4 1/3, 4 1/4. It's still putting in generally lower highs. And it also lured a lot of people in through the breach of that 20. So this one's already shown its hand to a little bit kind of be one of those bamboozlers. But here's 430 again. The tape is really picking up steam. The volume is respectable, about 41.5 million shares traded on the day. Good hold of 4. Generally, I mean, here we go. We're about to take it out again, but there was resistance here last time. So the area high is the bar at 1105, the high of which is 32. There goes 32, 36. Are we going to get 35 now? Are we going to get a retracement down like we did with that 32 area high? Or do we have the juice to get back into the $0.50? We're about 15 pennies away from said $0.50. There, it goes into 40. This one's on its horse, Joey. Let's see if we can get up into the $0.50 here. Ripping up his TDIC with the volume profile really taking off. So current bar low, just to give you an idea, is 416. 416 current bar low. You have good support at 4, but we are much below that level now. Let's see if we can mosey on up, touch the $0.50, and then we'll make an assessment at that time.
Hold on, one thing here before we. Sorry to interrupt you there, Cherif, but there goes Apple to 297.
Rip it, Apple.
Yeah. I think this is all-time high on this name once again. Yeah, 297 all-time high. Volume really starting to pick up here. Consolidative base breaking through. You can see that bull flag that was being formed, and it did bub kiss, as Cherif would say, on yesterday's session. Just consolidating, waiting for that breakout, and sure enough, here it is. The mega caps leading the Nasdaq once again, pretty close to new all-time highs.
Joey, your head piece isn't in, and there's a super about that, brother. Right on cue. So, what do you guys think about Apple to the end of the day? We holding long. You wanna cover that because you're the mega cap trader.
Yeah,
I hold Apple.
What do you guys think about Apple till the end of the day? Do we hold the long? Yeah, why not? Why would you want to? I mean, why wouldn't you want to? Look at this breakout. Look at the consolidation from yesterday's session. Why wouldn't you not want to hold this? Especially you're at blue sky territory right now. Just continue to ride the wave, man. There's no reason. I mean, trim on the way up. Don't be greedy. Lock in some profits, but leave a little bit of a runner too. So I think that's the narrative with some of these names. I'm all out of this NVDL trade. We're going to wait for a better position. Other than that, I was telling Gore, 2 o'clock, 2:30 is my hour, and I'm going to be patient and wait for that neck of the woods. All right, let's send things off to Adara.
Bitcoin, we've been talking about for a while now, these higher highs, higher lows in this chart. As of right now, though, maybe trying to break that on the daily. So we had this level here of support on the daily at 79.2, going back to Friday, May 8th, so last Friday. Now coming right into that level. Let's see if we bounce or if we break below. As I mentioned earlier for a couple times now, that 83,000 still eluding Bitcoin in terms of breaking back above it. Interesting crypto earnings report here out of Japan. Metaplanet, which is apparently the biggest corporate Bitcoin holder in Japan, they reported $730 million USD valuation loss. That would be 116.3 billion yen. That's, again, apparently these losses had to do with Bitcoin valuation losses. So pretty significant there for Metaplanet, showing you that we've got issues here with some of these Bitcoin companies in terms of the value of their Bitcoin, not just in the US, it's happening in Japan as well. Furthermore, lots of comments coming from Feds Collins, and some of these actually a little bit more dovish or optimistic than I maybe thought that they would be. She said that they want rate cuts later this year should the economy permit it. So she is still open to rate cuts here, Feds Collins. She also said that persistent inflation makes it difficult to ignore energy shocks. So there are still some concerns, but she said, hey, they do want there to be rate cuts going forward. Back to you.
Space, man, it's gonna break that.
I know, but like the fact of the matter is, bro, this, look at what it does. It makes highs and it tanks, and I don't want to go through that again, right? So
I hear you.
Sorry, I had something. Yeah, sorry, I want to mention, guys, the ADRs are really ripping here, the Chinese ADRs, and the obvious reason. Your boy President Trump, obviously meeting with President Xi. Well, not today, but anyway. He's in China, and we all know what's going to go down. Baba, earnings report up 7 4/5. The Do, talking about Baidu, up 7 and change. Pinduoduo, formerly known as Pinduoduo, now known just PDD, up 4 1/5. FXI, KWeb, the ETFs, both in the Ville of Green. JD.com should be below PDD, also up a very respectable, more than 7 4/5. Even the garbage EV names, I'm kidding, of course, I don't think they're garbage at all. They're some of the best cars in the world. Li Auto, XPEV, NEO, all up mid to high single digits. What else do we have? Some are the solar, the Chinese solar names as well. They're all moving a decent amount. So for those looking for something here, guys, the ADRs, the Chinese ADRs at that are really going. So something to keep an eye out for. We got long. I hate this because I put a range 75 to 82 on VELO, and I literally got the worst possible price. But there it goes into 21. We're wetting the beak. We're looking for now the move above 21. Let's go ahead and wait at 7s. We'll see if we can get that topping tail candle on the current 5-minute candle. Right now it takes up into 20.95. Let's see if we can kind of ride trend on Velo and possibly take out that area high, the intraday high that is at 21.39. There's a lot of resistance right around there. So, but I want to see what the price action brings into 21. Now, area low for me is the stop, which takes us down into about 20 1/5. We'll see if this one's got the juice to take out some levels. But TDIC, I told y'all, this is the problem with these names. They lure you in with lower highs. What looks to be a possible breakout, like this hot garbage over here, and then drops near $1 on you quick as you like. I'm finding that these are like some of the worst setups when you have an area high and you try to reclaim that area high and you ends up making a lower high. Look at that drop, breaching 4 all the way down into the 3 mid-80s. TDIC, troublesome area. Now, that being said, this is a clear area of technical support. Look at that implied balance open pop at 1010, the high of which is 386. The current bar low, 387. I'm sure it's just coincidental. I'm sure it is. I'm being facetious. 386 high on the 1010 bar, 387 low on the current bar at 1135. Something to think about there. I'm not going to quickly jump in that, but something to look out there for, guys. Going to focus on this Velo trade, Joe.
Absolutely, yeah. 2NY, sir. I'm just focusing, guys, on this specific trade. I mean, this is more or less meant to be a scalp. I was looking at this. We got a nice little pop, but if we don't get any form of continuation, then we'll just get out. I mean, I got out right at the lows, and then it was just bad trading for me. So, I mean, we can just hop out right now, just giving some of our profits from earlier today back. Looking for the long, and I just want to wait till later in the session because that's where I've been trading the best. I know it's not as entertaining and as fun, but what is our objective? Our objective here is to make some cash. ONDS, yeah, let's pull that up. I got to keep an eye on this trade here. I put on some more size on it, so I just don't have too much confidence in it. ONDS, this channel trade on DAS. Yeah, I mean, nice bounce off of the lows here, really. With that being said, we had a nice nice channel up here. I like that you mentioned that too, NY. Until it breaks that, then try to catch the lower end of the channel. I think that's a good play here on this specific name. So what am I thinking on NVDA? Let's pull it up. What we did have is this indecision print, and we have this this channel or this trend line up, a nice print bounce right off of the volume weighted average price. Now, if we can't break through the back end of this trend, then by all means, this trade might not work. It's so tough because it needs so much volume and everything along those lines in order for it to move the price. And if you're looking for something relatively quick outside of the opening drive or that first 10-minute opening auction, that's not the narrative. It really, really chops around here. And the more prints that I see, I'm not in love with. I'm going to go long on some DRAM. I like the buying pressure starting to step in right at the volume weighted average price. You can see that it's forming this consistent lower high, or higher low, sorry, I should say. And then if it breaks that trend, that's when you look to get out on that name. But silver, off to the races it goes, and there goes the SPY continuing to climb a little bit stronger. And with that being said, I thought that we would see some more strength within the financials. Hasn't been the case. JPM is absolutely just being a bedwetter right now, just get gap down, and just, man, it's just like, all right, these banks, what to do with them? I mean, you got to hold on to them for quite some time. And I mean, no, it's true, man. It's just so frustrating. They just climb. Like, we know that you're going higher in the long run, so just do it already. I know, but in all seriousness, strong session yesterday.
Bedwetter, though.
Not so much here today.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joey. It's not that. It's the characterization there.
Yeah.
But there goes AIIO. We're back in this at 30s. It popped off into 39. We're scalping up here. There's 39 again. We're looking for a move into 40. And then ideally, of course, we test that $0.50. We got 38 showing up here. A good amount of buying. As you can see, more greenery on the level 2. Well, a lot of yellow as well, but at least not red and blue. There's 39 again. Can we get continuity into that 40 penny area? Big seller. There it goes. Joseph, options into 243. AIIO on its horse and possibly looking for that 40 penny area. What AIIO, right? Yeah. All right, here we go. Now we're going to look to test in and around the $0.50, right? You get up into 43s, 44. I mean, I got a bias that this rips up into the $0.50. We get one, we get the $0.50, great. We don't, we stop out break even, and that's where I'm moving the stop right now. Let's go ahead and throw that in there. In fact, I'm going to put it at 31s. So that's what we're doing there. We're going to keep an eye out on that. Now, I'm quite displeased here with the VELO trade. We're about, yeah, let's call a spade, man. 12 pennies out of the money here. As this one, look, it's putting in higher lows, but it's had a rejection at 21. That's where I got the beak wet, and it hasn't done much since. Ozan, AIIO, it will hit 269, easy. Mark my words. That's the kind of attitude that I like, Ozan.
You see what Luis just said there?
My man, Luis?
Your
stop, my entry.
Our man.
Well, I'm sorry, bro. I don't have to. Yeah, you know I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah,
but,
I thought you did.
Yeah. This guy, bro. Tread carefully around this guy. Luis Barbado, you're stop my entry. I love the way you think, Luis, man. There's the Luis Barbado. You guys know it's a Wednesday, and when it is, that means Luis Barbado of day trading.
He says this guy's crazy.
Don't be jealous. I love his attitude, bro. It's fantastic. We're going to talk a little soccer today with Luis.
All right,
yes,
man. I feel you. I feel you,
of course.
Man.
So Luis is going to be on, guys,
yes,
at 1 o'clock. We're pumped to have him on. Very, very experienced, very technical small cap trader, mostly to the south side. So if you're sick of me going longs, you've got basically a much better trader, but goes the opposite way. Ooh. So make sure you're around us. Pardon me. For that 1 o'clock session. And yes, I know you guys are winning by a lot, Luis. It's not even close in La Liga this year, man. I was looking, there was like a 10-point, 12-point gap. We're going to double check that right now. Barcelona is going to win La Liga, no problemo. There is 35 games played, 91 points for Barcelona, 77 for the lowly. I'm going to get hate. Real Madrid, only 77. And the goal differential, Luis, what the hell's going on with the goals? 60 goal differential, Real Madrid 37. That's got to be some sort of record there. But yeah, you know,
Starting to heat up in this kitchen, my boy. We got
starting to heat up.
You're starting to heat up in this kitchen.
So is the jacket coming off then?
Jacket's coming off because we're cooking, baby. Watch out for this one, NVDL, and I double size. But what happened?
Because okay, so what's his name? Tushimeni, or I forget how to say his name, and Federico Valverde, who's the captain, got into a fist fight. Real Madrid.
I like that.
They got into a fist fight in the change room. Both of them got fined by the club €500,000 for that fight.
For the fight?
Yeah. Apparently Valverde was knocked out.
Oh,
like
yeah?
he was on the ground, didn't know where he was.
Got the chest.
Yeah,
up
he
there.
got beat down. So he's laughing. Luis is like, "Yo, we're taking the championship. Madrid players are fighting each other." So that is a little bit of a shot there. He deserves it, though.
All right. He got his knee healing up. Yeah, knee's healing up, my boy. So we're sitting on approximately, 35% of this position. I mean, I was gonna wait. At this point, we may as well to see if it's gonna break the high of the day if we don't get stopped out at the break even. I would like to lock in some more, but we got a diamond hands Deontay Wilder this one here. We took off half on these couple of partials. I had double the amount of size, but I want to tell you guys, full disclosure, what I just did right here it's rookie. This is a rookie move, in my opinion. I would classify this as myself.
Why do you say that?
I'm going to get right into it right now. Completely unacceptable. Because I talk about it all the time. Look what I'm doing. I'm buying at the top end of the range, and it's consolidating, right? And I'm selling at the lower end of the range. So I'm literally just putting myself in a chop position and not a really good risk to reward. What we wanted to do is wait for the lower end or for the volume to really kick in and us break out. But where I get out, I understand that you break through the support level, but I should be giving it a little bit wider of a stop, considering this is a leverage product right here, NVDL, for me to get out right here. This is a guaranteed loss, and I'm not happy. I took it. I understand that we could head a little bit lower, but if you position yourself correctly, you can give yourself more room and get out when you're supposed to. So this is a rookie mistake on my behalf, and I'm not going to apologize or anything for it, but I mean, at the end of the day, we get back in and we just kind of right our wrong on this one, but learn from my mistakes and try to get in at the lower end of the range. Unless the volume really upticks, then you don't want to be buying the tops. And Neil and I were talking about this the other day. Just you're going to get caught in some fake outs when you're playing a specific breakout. But there's a couple of things that we can just look to work in our favor, and I think that's strength through volume, which is extremely important. If you don't have the volume supporting your breakout, the chance of it being sustained are dwindling and relatively low. But once the volume starts to uptick and you have multiple things aligning, then sure enough, you can find that you can find those breakouts in the right place at the right time. So yeah, we'll give that one a big time fail, but then we're gonna hit. No, that's not a fail. That's an oh boy. We'll hit the fail on that one, and then we'll hit this one on the second attempt.
Get it, Joey.
Multiple glass break is crazy. I
Yo,
like
I was
what did with
watching
that
a
one,
documentary, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Hulk Hogan was a world-class shit disturber within the wrestling business.
Yeah.
The amount of stories that so
Came out
many
of this
different wrestlers have about this guy just disturbing the peace. So you know how it is. Like, they plan out who's going to get the title. It's called, what is that called again? I forget the term anyway. So you're going to win, right? They're going to give you your run now. I got the belt, and you and I meet and be like, all right, here's how it's going to go down, Joey. I'm going to hit you with a clothesline. We're going to do this, that. Yeah. And everything will be planned out ahead of time. Everything ironed out. You're good with it. I'm good with it. He'll come in like half an hour before the match and be like, hey, brother, that's not going to work for me, brother.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and just completely send everything into it. Yeah, exactly. And, always kind of looking out for himself, not really looking out for the greater good of the business.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because you brought up, obviously, Steve Austin, so I was thinking about that. I don't even think it was a documentary, bro. I think it was like a TikTok video or something like that from a podcast. But anyway, interesting. A lot of interesting stories about Hulk and his demands for different things.
I also wanted to touch on this, considering we were talking a little bit of sports. The Toronto Maple Leafs fire head coach Berube. So this is coach number, I think, 5. We're going to be going on, and general manager number 4. But it's not the players' fault. He's up then, my G. All right, we got that break up into $120 in NVDL.
Thank you.
Let's see if we can head towards the high of the day. I'm thinking we get 128 here throughout the session. So let's be patient, hold on to the little bit that we have right now, and wait for some more cash money to really start to step in here and just try to diamond hand this up to north of $20. So we'll be patient and see what we got going on. Daenerys is alive? I didn't know Daenerys Targaryen was alive. Hey guys, here's a good question, I think. Why would you guys trade TQQQs over QQQU when QQQU has a lower price per share and higher percentage return? It's a fantastic question. Well, I can kick it off by saying we don't even have access to QQQU. So would I even know what the volume on this thing is? No.
AM.
You think it's an Amex? It didn't even come up.
It didn't, eh? Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah, it didn't even come up. So, I mean, there's answer number one for that if we don't even have access to it. And then I'll try to find another answer for you as well.
I think the liquidity typically.
Well, that's what I was just about to get at there, right? Is like, what is the liquidity on this thing, which is also a big importance on why we're trading. So if it's not very liquid, then we're not going to be looking to participate in it. QQQU. It's 3x. Let's see what the volume.
Oh, that's 3x.
Okay, and yeah, so the
volume,
so there it is. Look at this. We couldn't trade. Well, I mean, we could, but look at this. What are you even gonna do here? Like, this is just, there's no volume behind this whatsoever. So yeah, that would be a big reason. It has 24,000 shares traded and it's $60. There's not enough liquidity there for us in order to trade that name.
All right, I'm tightening up my stop here on VELO. I'm starting to like this one a little bit better. Now, it had multiple attempts at area highs, which was good news. And now it's kind of showing me that maybe the seller's a little bit in control. I don't want to move it up too much and then, push myself out of the trade a little bit early. But, it is putting in higher lows, right? But it feels a little top heavy, with maybe some rounding coming into this. And if it's gonna round, then I'm not interested in getting in on a rounded top and then failing the $0.50 or the $0.25. But VLO, we're gonna continue to hold this until it stops me out, but I'm liking this a little bit less now. A couple of good attempts there into the high 80s, but essentially the spread is also a bit of an issue, which is currently on Velo, 9 pennies currently, but I've seen it much, much wider. So, yeah, so that's the situation with that one at the moment. AIIO still trading very much near highs relative to basically any other level of import. 231, 232, it's a high of 245. So this could have been that $0.50 glance we were talking about, that 45 move. Sometimes no. And if you believe Ozan in the chat, he says it's going to hit 269 with no problem. Ooh. So I see some support here, Joey. Currently where we are, you can kind of see that 230 level. We couldn't breach from that 230 level. Now we're kind of holding for the most part, not on a strike basis, but certainly on a closing print basis. We're using 230 here as support. So if you look on the lower time frame, like the 5-second or the 10-second chart, it could be a bit of a curling pattern here. But when I look at the 5-second chart, and that's what I'm looking at on the top screen right now, we're still putting in generally lower highs. Some area resistance that we need to be aware of, 235 resistance as well as 238. So those could be, troublesome levels for the longs. We seem to have a flat bottom, though, brewing at 230. So that kind of reinforces my belief that 230, for the most part, is an area support. But it's not being kind of set up in the right way with, higher highs. That 230 is being followed by lower highs. So it feels like a possible flat bottom break. Now, I did get stopped out of VELO. Happy with that stop out. We'll give back a little bit on that one. We'll be negative on VELO, but positive still on the day. I want to see if this one wants to set up a little bit better. It's not setting up quite well at the moment. And quite frankly, I don't really like anything other than AIIO, which is also not setting up quite well. Let's look at... Pardon me?
No, I've seen someone in the chat.
Let's look at MXCT. I had this one on for a nice break and hold above $1. Here it is at the volume weighted average price, which happens to be $1.08. High of the day is $1.16. You're not going to find much in the way of support below VWAP here. It's going to take you all the way down to 103. You can see all the resistance levels here are at $1.03, and then it rocketed up, made that 116 quick as you like, and here it is at the volume weighted average price at 108. Now it's suffering from a plethora of lower highs, and that, you know, even if it holds up at 108, it'll have to get above those prior area highs. So there is MXCT. I also want to draw your attention to OUST. I've said very little about this one, but OUST is up 17.5% on the day with a 33.11 high. Here it is, about to lose the 10 EMA. It has been putting in higher lows locally, but was unable to kind of retest that area resistance at around 32 2/3, 32 3/4. So let's see if this one can hold above the 10 EMA, and then we may get involved with that one. But I'm not liking anything, especially the names on the bottom of your screen there. All of them are either below VWAP or consolidative, doing bupkis. Yeah, and there goes AIIO losing the 230 area. There could be support between the $1/5 of a dollar to the $1/4 of a dollar. There's a bit of a support area there. So a loss of that. And MXCT just lost VWAP as well. I'm not going to take this trade because it's below VWAP and that breaches my rules. But for those who don't have a VWAP rule, $1.03 on MXCT could be a possible area of good support. So keep that in mind. Let's go back and see what some people are saying. Oxlong wants me to take a look at WOLF, not WULF. So the actual spelling of wolf. Joey, did you ever play Wolfenstein?
I haven't. I know. I'm not familiar with that game.
That's crazy.
What is it?
Neil, you played that. As soon as Neil walked by, I'm like, there's no way Neil didn't play.
What is Wolfenstein?
Wolfenstein, it's like first-person shooter game like Doom, Duke Nukem.
I like Doom. I used to play Doom on Sega back in the day.
Yeah. Well, it's not that much before Doom.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. It's Wolfenstein was pretty cool. So this is WOLF. I don't mind this too much, but you can see what it's doing, right? Sorry, let me throw in the ticker, and then we're going to comment on quickly. Guys, just before, I do TA on this one, QUCY, a sub $1 name, just ripped up from 50 pennies into 61. We're just going to show this quickly, and then I'm going to look at WOLF. Bottom left of your screen, QUCY just absolutely ripped from off that, I want to say 52 penny area now into 61.5, looking to take out the high of the day, which is 63.68. But for back to WOLF, we're putting in lower highs. That's the first problem. Second problem is, for the most part, and for the exception of the implied balance open at 9:30, we've rejected VWAP, whether that was in the pre-market or currently. So you can see about 20 minutes of VWAP rejections right around $66, $65. So WOLF, it's up 21 1/3%, but definitely not setting up in the right way. Shout out to Oxlong, thank you for that. Mr. Trades Layer. Cherif, I'm not fantastic of wrestling, but really enjoyed Mac Maroon documentary about WrestleMania. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm going to take a picture of that comment so that I can pull it up and watch that later. Thanks, Mr. Trades Layer. Shout out to the OG there. Ozan, full disclaimer, I don't know how to trade. Get out of here, bro. Original was Castle Wolfenstein. I didn't know that. I thought it was just called Wolfenstein. Dude, I play this thing on a 486 computer. And if you know what a 486 is, well, then you're probably an older millennial or you're Gen X, because they don't exist anymore. It's before Pentiums. And if you know what Pentium is, you're probably old as well. But there it is. You know all of them, Asesino? I like it. 486 computers were like before. I guess the Pentium was like considered 586. They never called it that though, because it was Intel. MSX, no, I didn't. Before the Pentium? So they made 486 computers then, right? Was that it? Yeah, okay. There you go. Okay, so you guys are coming in the chat there. 386, yes, I do remember the 386 as well. Those were interesting coming in, but who had a Commodore 64? Anybody in the chat have a Commodore 64 or 128? Because that was my first one ever. And let me tell you, for as incapable, Neil has his hand up. Yes, Neil. For as incapable as that computer was, Neil, it was very costly. At a time where, like, you know, paying $2,000 for something was very unusual, but computers were super expensive at the time. Yes, you guys are I love it. I love the responses here, man. Amiga 64, says Stuart T. I know I'm old, Jed Luke. I do know that. It's something I can't control. But there it is. I had the Commodore 16 and 64, says Gav Ursh. My man, I love that. Apple II, shout out to Ward Dog. Yes, an Atari and a portable IBM. That is the OG right there. Yeah, my sister had an Atari, man. We used to fight all sorts about that. LOL, my buddy had a Commodore 64. It was good. Like the loading sequence, you have no idea the type of things you had to type in just to load up a simple game. It was much more complicated than it was.
64 is actually the best video gaming system of all time. No loading screens.
Yeah, that, N64. I do remember that.
N64.
Remember the what was it called? Mario 3D. Because it was the first Mario that you could go in all four directions.
Oh, really?
Before it was
I didn't
Mario
know.
64. Thank
Mario
you,
64,
Fabian.
yeah.
Famicom?
I never had that. No.
Only OGs remember like Conqueror's Bad Fur Day. We ran that. Obviously, the original Smash Bros. Mario Kart, Mario Party. Me and my cousins would just run Mario Party for hours and hours and on end. Yeah, NHL 96 was a good one.
And there was certain characters in Mario Kart, like Princess, accelerated faster than all the other ones. But like Luigi or Mario had a faster top speed, so you had to kind of choose which one. You know what I mean?
Road and stuff. Yeah.
And then Turtle, you could like drop stuff and make people slip up. Was that it?
Yeah, so you could just like throw the like, are you talking about the shells and everything? Yeah,
and the people would slip.
Oh
and
yeah,
fall
that was the banana. Yeah, the banana.
And that would start fights.
Big time fights.
Big time fights.
And first place bomb was absolutely. If you want to talk about ruining a friendship, just drop a first place bomb. All right, I believe.
Hold on. Oh. Before we go, guys, QUCY just ripped in to the high of the day, 68 pennies on the dot. It's dropping back now into about 62, 63. If it keeps dropping, look for a hold between 60 to 57.5. 57.5. VWAP 60, of course, that 10 penny level. QUCY up about 100% at Darrow.
Good stuff.
Just saw an announcement from Meta, so I'll look at that for you guys here. META, not really moving too much in this, but they're launching something called Instants on Instagram. Apparently, it's, quote, a new way to share photos in the moment with your close friends or mutual followers. Not sure how different that is from other following or offerings here from Meta's Instagram, but if I have any more details, I'll let you know. S&P 500 hanging out here in your session high, still below the pre-market high here. Now, we know with the market, we, of course, had the PPI looming over it. That was hotter than expected for all four prints. To some degrees, like, more than 1% hotter than what we were expecting for that producer price index print. CPI yesterday, you had like 3 of the 4 numbers of that metric coming in slightly hotter than expected, but this PPI print was slightly less closely watched. Certainly pretty concerning when it comes to how overheated that was. That being said, Betsy Collins actually saying that she doesn't really think that inflation will abate until 2027. However, she hopes that the economy will allow for further rate cuts this year. So certainly, if you don't want to say, oh no, dovish, I think certainly a lot less hawkish than we were expecting from our first Fed speak after that PPI print. We do have Kashkari, I believe, at 1:15 p.m. today. FXI and all these Chinese names are going to be on watch here as we have President Trump and President Xi meeting up, and you guessed it, China. Reuters reporting a little bit after the bell today that Trump and Xi are going to be considering tariff cuts on $30 billion of imports. So we're going to have to wait and see if that does come to fruition. Of course, in the Chinese ADR space, Alibaba going to be on watch here as well. They are up massively. Earnings report itself not that great, but certainly I think at this point, with all the excitement with the Trump and Xi meeting, good look there for BABA. Intel also a great look here. Now, INTC is just a visual of some of the deals they made. I'm going to have to update this, though, because they announced yesterday that they've also struck a deal with Google, and they're partnering, or they have been working with Google on its Google Book, which is going to be their laptop made for Gemini Intelligence. So interesting look there for INTC. I also bring up Intel because Intel and AMD were both scheduled to start their annual shareholder meetings at 12 p.m. So AMD, Intel, shareholder meetings, both could be happening right now. These are usually not massive. If I do get any comments coming from them, if they start moving, that's something I'll certainly be looking into for you guys. But again, usually these annual shareholder meetings, unless there's some kind of proxy vote, not super exciting. But you know what is super exciting every single day? It's Neil's lesson of the day. So Neil, what's today's lesson, pray tell?
Thank you, Adara. You know what? You guys are going to hate me for this one. I'll probably get some hate for this. But one of the things we try to do is keep it real. Right? Everything is about keeping real. I will be the first person to tell you, in the years and years I've been trading, I've never seen a trader on the floor that I didn't root for to make money. There was even a dude, and Sean, I know this guy, like nobody liked him on the floor, but I'm telling you, you're always like happy to see like all that kind of stuff. That being said, like we had a point this morning when I think we got a great super chat. Someone came back into the green. It's like, okay, I started out, I was down X, and we got back into green and made Y. And I think you should always be happy when you're positive. But it was the nature of it that sometimes it can get lost. It was something along the lines, and it was the line that I just kept doubling down until I made money. Now here's the thing. There's two reasons why that can be dangerous. Not all trades. I'm of the style that if I can't find a one-shot entry price, that's why I like trend breaks or like pull off a higher look. There's something about the style that I like to be able to get it in where I think it's good, and then everything just becomes binary at that point. I'm in once, I'm stopping here, I'm targeting, and it just like that's my mentality. Forget about what I like to do, everyone has to do themselves. So I'm not here to tell you that that's the only way to trade. That's far from it. That's trash. There's a million ways that you can make money. When it comes to the doubling down aspect, there's a couple of ways in which you could be engaging in that. And I think it's important. Like if your strategy, and I'm just going to leave it on the chart, I'm just going to leave it on today. I was going to use yesterday because it's a more extreme example, but there's a couple of ways you could look at this. Now let's say you're trading Rigetti, and you're looking for the long to hold the prior day low at 1823. Right? You see it come into the bounce. You like it here. Maybe you buy some 1850s. Your idea to hold to 1820. So you buy some here, you buy some here with a stop out there, but you've got a price in mind that says, I'm gonna have X price if it breaks this low at 1825. And let's say I only wanna lose $100, right? So if I'm doing that math and 1825, is that really 1825? It doesn't matter, I'm just gonna say 1825. So 1825, and I'm gonna get longs in here somewhere, and I only wanna lose $100. Let's say in the middle, my blended price would be something around the lines of 1835, let's say, so you're risking 10 cents. You can only have 1,000 shares. So then if you bought 500 on the original entry, and then you bought another 500 on the way down, with your stop only risking the $100, and it stops out, that's averaging down. Now, the other issue becomes if you try to put the same trade in again off of this low, and you do the same notion, but you just double the risk. Where it's like, I'm doing the same setup, but instead of taking 505 and risking 100, I'm just gonna risk 200 the second time. And then I'm just gonna risk 400 the third time. The reason why there's a specific reason why that gets people into trouble in trading. And here's the specific reason. I always use the same math to keep it as simple as possible, because this is what you're gonna wanna watch out for. If I have a trader who trades, and the chart doesn't matter here. If I have a trader that trades 5 days in a trading week, okay, and makes money on 3 days, loses money once, and has a flat day. Good trader, correct? 5 days, 3 green, 1 red, 1 flat. Sounds very good, right? If you do this double down method, implicitly your losses are going to be bigger than your wins. Now, what if I told you that trader made $1,000 on each of their up days, 111, they're up 3 grand, they have a flat day, nothing, I'm just keeping it simple, and on their losing day, they lose twice as much as they win because they're doing some kind of a double down strategy. Okay, now that trader has made 111, that's 3K minus 2. They made $1,000 that week. Positive traders, as I said, they're up 3 times, they're down once, they've lost on, so they're flat once and they've lost on that other. That's actually a level of consistency. When they come in the next week on Monday and sit down to trading, here's where it runs into trouble at all times. What is that trader to themselves? They're usually going to envision themselves as one of two things. A trader that can risk $2,000 or a $1,000 a day trader. Ask yourself this question. Are they either of those two things? And if you think the answer is yes, therein lies the problem. That trader has a level of consistency that makes them $200 a day because they made 1,000. They're up 3 days out of 5 with one loser and one flat. But they're actually making $200 a day, and on their bad day, they're risking $2,000. The mentality of that trader is going to lead them into trouble when that double down strategy blows up because they haven't demonstrated the upside to make it back, and how they view themselves as a trader is going to be bigger than their actual output. There was a moment when I said, ensure that if you were doing that kind of a style, that second, if you're doubling down, is still a small fraction of what you're regularly able to lose, right? Because if you can keep it in that pocket, you might be able to be fine with that. But a lot of traders don't do that. And that's where it ends up being a bit of trouble. And remember, I have zero intention or desire to be like, oh, am I singling out a person who made money today that had a super chat? I'm really trying not to do that. It's absolutely not the case. What I do care about, what I actually care about, and you can see, this is where I get passionate. You don't see me, like whatever, like I was all winners. You don't see me that passionate about it. You will see me passionate about this. I don't want people to lose money. I don't want accounts to blow up. I don't want to see people fail in trading. Most traders fail. So this lesson is all about very specifically like an envision or a mentality that can set you astray if that is your strategy. If you're good at dip buying, sometimes it's going to play out where you're taking multiple shots at it. There's no way that that's not going to be the case. I get it. I'll go against the grain too. I like a good mean reversion as much as everybody else. But it's just like in Moneyball in baseball. You can hit a lot of home runs, but it's measured against, your production is measured against the outs. You know, like I could name some guys that you guys have never heard of. Everyone here has probably, you've probably heard of Mark McGuire. You probably heard of Barry Bonds. You probably heard of Jose Canseco. You've never heard of Russell Branyan. You've never heard of Jack. These guys had more power than anybody and could hit the ball a mile, but they made too many outs relative to the home runs they hit. And I think that's the same thing when you're catching that bid. It does matter how much you risk. And if you risk 1,000 to make 500, that's going to catch up to you. It really will. And I'm trying not to be mean. I understand this is going to come off mean. I really get it. And I'm sorry that it does. I'm genuinely apologetic that comes off as being negative. But there's no other way for me to say it. There really is no other way to say it. Because we don't want to see people lose money. Traders are going to lose money. You're going to go in the market, you're going to lose money from time to time. Promise you. Like, there's no way around it. A trader that says they don't lose, the trader that's lying to you. So we got to try to keep it real around here. Just remember, when you evaluate yourself on the week, understand how you make money. Because the trader I described is a positive trader. It just comes down to them being realistic about who they are when Monday morning rolls around. They're not a trader that is making $1,000 a day. They're a trader that's making $200 a day. And so scaling from that 200 either is going to require going from risking $2,000 when they're wrong to risking $4,000, or refining their trading so they can be a bit more precise. And the $2,000 day is now a $1,000 day down. And then that same trader is going to be making double. If they that one losing day, if they limit it to the amount that they make and can still maintain their wins, they've doubled their P&L. Now, which one makes sense to you, right? Limiting when you lose by half, if you're able to do so and preserve some of that upside, or simply just saying, I'm gonna double everything up because I'm positive. And then instead of making 200 a day, I'm making 400 a day. But now when I'm wrong, I'm risking 4,000. I know which one I prefer. And I'm not telling you what to do, but I've never seen it. In 20 years, I've never seen anybody scale successfully otherwise. Never. The next person I see to make it work long-term that way will be the first in over 20 years. And that's all I wanted to get off my chest today because I want to see everybody here win. I know it's impossible and it ends up not being true, but it doesn't mean you don't wish for it. So that's the lesson of the day. I hate to be too real with that one. I haven't touched my lunch. It actually looks pretty good, except for the fact that the last time we had this, I felt like the noodles were a little like greasy, like not noodles, the spaghetti was a little bit greasy, but it looks delicious. So I'm guessing it's gonna be fantastic, but I haven't even touched it. So you guys enjoy the midday. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. Sorry for the rant. And I am truly, I don't mean to be that way with regards to that super chat, but the lesson of the day has gotta be authentic. Or I'm just, you know what? If I can't be authentic, then I don't wanna be here. You know what I'm saying? So you guys have fun. We'll see you back at 2 o'clock. Appreciate you.
But I'm going to see you guys first because I have a couple different news stories to cover for you guys. For one here, Lululemon, I put up both of these on the screen, but I'll mention them here again anyway. Lululemon here, Michael Buries weighing in the company saying that he believes they're, quote, increasingly vulnerable to shareholder activism. So LULU liked that story. We also had here both Intuit and PayPal teaming up with Anthropic. PayPal actually moving on this story, which Intuit isn't. But basically, Anthropic and PayPal apparently going to be working together to help small businesses improve the way they use AI. So small business team up here for PayPal and Anthropic. Nice win for PayPal CEO Enrique Lores, and nice move for the stock. PYPL, back to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you've heard the saying, Cherif. Weak men want to hear lies. Strong men want to hear the truth.
Ouch.
Man.
That's fantastic right there. Joey, that was really good. Joey, Jeff, buy.
Jeff with a G.
Yeah, I know. Jeff, buy B7. Shout out to my man Jeff. Up 6 figures. MTD have had a wild run with options trading for 5 years poorly. My gains this year have wiped out all my losses. There was a lot. You have been central to learning to trade on my own. Much thanks and respect to you all, Trader TV. Yeah, that is a lot of good words and a lot of respect. We thank you so much for that, brother. Very kind of you to say that. And hey, man, stick with us. You just saw Neil drop like a hot. I know I'm not allowed to say this anymore, but I'm going to take the liberties and say it one more time. Those were hot lines. Fire. Like in a good way, you know? Yeah. So fantastic lesson of the day, Neil. Typically is the case. So we're going to thank him for that. Joey, I got to cover this because it's ripping.
Okay, cover that. I want to talk about Jeff quickly. Right after you're done. Cover what you got going on.
First of all, thank you very much to the trader there. I have to shout him up by name. Oh, geez, where is my response to him? Okay, sorry. So I'll have to shout you out later. But MEI is absolutely ripping. Look at this, guys. This is a buy program if I've ever seen one. The second I saw this, I just punched in. I didn't even look at the TA. We're in at 39. The high of the day here, I believe, is 68, showing 65. It's on the rampage to the way up. Let's see if it gets into 13. There's a local seller at 65 here. Let's see if it holds up at the $0.50. But this is a very aggressive move on MEI. 68 now showing up. I don't even have any orders, so let's throw something here at lucky number 77. There's 73, Joey. This one is on its horse right now. I'm telling you guys, it's really ripping. 75, but haven't gotten quite the print yet at 77. So that gives me a moment here to slow down, see what this individual's name was. Triple J, 1469. This guy's flexing. He's killing me, bro. He's killing me, bro. Shout out to Triple J. Thank you so much for that. This is really going. We got the print at 77. Now we're going to set up at 88. I'm not going to say the dude's name yesterday because Neil got very upset when I mentioned Michael Irvin. Yeah, he's good. He's good. But we're posting up at 88s right now. What a move up here for MEI. Good look. Cheese. I saw him from the corner of my eye. Having peripheral vision is good peripheral vision is both a blessing and a curse because Neil just gave me the death stare there.
What did he do?
He gave me the death stare,
Why?
brother. Well, because I mentioned Michael Irvin, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I know. Global Landfill Tour. First of all, shout out to Cheese of Queens. Let me just maximize the name there. Cheese of questionable origins. That's fantastic. $5 super chat. Global landfill tours are one of the exception to the don't double down rule. SCDI Travel Incorporated is going to the moon. Joseph, why were they at a landfill? Is it true, or is that just like hype by the media? Because my understanding was they visited a landfill on a cruise.
They were bird watching. They were bird watching.
I understand, but did that bird watching take them to the landfill?
Maybe.
Why? What do you? Okay.
I don't know, man. Let's call these guys up and ask them maybe if they want to. Like, hey, what were you guys even doing there? Fake. You are fake news. Hit that Donald Trump there for us. Yeah, there it goes. Sorry, Cherif. You're good with me? Are you still in it? Oh, you're still in it. All right. Next pop up, we'll send it back to you. Other than that, I've seen the volume really start to uptick here in NVDL, and then it popped up. It did print a new all-time high by a couple of pennies, and then sure enough started to come back in a little bit. But and new on NVDA once again here, guys. It's just day after day. These big boys are really continuing to print up a storm, so we like that for sure. They're dead. I don't know about that, but anyway, so yeah, I apologize for that. But yeah, global landfill tours are the exception. Yeah, I'm all about that, especially you have cheese tasting tours on the way as well. Add a little wine there. So nonetheless, guys, nice trade there, Cherif. On MEI. We're looking for some more opportunities here on NVDA. I didn't hold this, man. I was like, you know what? Let me trail out just in case it breaks. But I had the hunch that it was going to head into the new all-time high, and I just didn't diamond hands it like I was planning on doing so. So we need to really stick with that game plan. Other than that, we won't complain, and we'll be happy with it. However, you went over what was wrong with this specific trade right there, but NVDL has been our better trader on the session. With that being said, I want to take a look at our scanner. Yeah, why do you always got to do that though, man? Because if if I were to do that to you, you'd be.
I'd be like, who was that?
Yeah, all right, man. Anyways, Nokia continuing to climb. Back up to $14. We were talking about this level during the option segment. This name is on a big time run. Like here it goes, printing an additional, and this isn't all-time highs, but breaking through that pivot of 14, now up to 1438. So I'm waiting for DRAM to kind of pick up some steam. If it's going to, we might be late to that train, considering it's been on such a substantial run as of late. But there is the SPY, heading right back up to $740. We literally talked about that level this morning. We talked about 710 on the NASDAQ. So I'm looking for some opportunities. Like, how do you go against this market at this point? We tried one attempt short, and we're like, yeah, AC Slater to that one. What are we even thinking about doing that? Let's go long. Let's go with the flow. And sure enough, it's continuously paying off. So that's my narrative here. Cherif is just waiting for any form of a pullback. DRAM, SanDisk, MU, Samsung, all within that ETF. So looking for that to find some ground here. But I mean, it's already pulled back off of that previous high, and yesterday it traded down to $48, I believe. So there's a good buying opportunity there, but I'm going to be more patient on that one before we get involved on that. So yeah, other than that, Cherif, we had that couple opportunities here on NVDL, and we're going to be patient and wait for some more things to come into play for us here.
Curtis Butters, you're absolutely right. It was a mistake by me to get out of QUCY. It is absolutely parabolic. 81.13, I mean pennies, not dollars, is the high of the day, showing 77. I got distracted with MEI because MEI is a buy program and a lot cleaner of an upward move than QUCY. But there it goes. This is really going, and it could be on the way to the dollar. So shout out to Curtis. Thank you for, calling me out on that, because that was clearly a mistake on my part. I should have had a bit more. I should have given it here in hindsight. I should have given it to 62. Clearly, 62 was an area of support. You can kind of see that as a former area of resistance multiple times. I made a mistake, but I'm doing really well here on MEI as that one just got into another high of day. Joseph, $12.99 high on MEI. What does this company do? Methode Electronics. It's not it's on the NYSE. It's $455 million market cap. Global supplier of custom engineered solutions. The company designs, engineers products of mechatronic products for original equipment manufacturers, OEM, using its range of technologies, user interface, lighting systems, power distribution, applications. Okay. I guess it's kind of in vogue. By the way, Fabian, did you see that Chinese company that made like a mech warrior robot that you ride inside of? Huh? Did you see this? The red one? Okay, we're gonna have to pull this up. It's quite crazy. We'll pull this up in a second, but this Chinese company, who played Mech Warrior ever in their life? I did. And there's a real life Mech Warrior now. We'll get to it in a second. I really want to show this video. First and foremost, though, shout out to Spooky Beats. We appreciate you, brother. He dropped 2 in the chat, Joey. Speaking back on sports, who you got for the NBA Finals?
OKC, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say OKC because of the Canadian twist to that.
Yeah.
And they pretty much beat the hell out of LA.
Yeah.
Right? Did they sweep?
Yeah, they
It was a
swept them.
sweep.
Yeah, they swept
It was a
them.
sweep.
And then who from the East?
And then from the East, who you got?
Probably the Knicks, yeah.
The Knicks, eh? So
And then
Knicks.
it's just going to be a wash show in OKC. So
OKC wins?
the Larry O.B. is going to Oklahoma City
Okay.
for the 2nd year in a row.
All right, well, there you go. I mean, I don't know too much about basketball, so, you know, I'll have to, you know, basically listen to what Joey says there.
I have the Stanley Cup staying in the West this year as well. It's either going to be the Vegas Golden Knights or the Colorado Avalanche.
All right. I'm just trying to find this thing, Joe, for everybody. There
Yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
All right, we're going to bring it in right now. This is it. This is literally it. Let me just pause this for a sec.
Bro,
bring
this
it
is
back.
like
It's
pure
not even a
Avatar
joke,
stuff,
man.
man.
No, man, this is real. This is actually
But I'm saying
like, real.
this is Avatar stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like, this thing is actually moving. This is the real deal. Like, the dude's sitting inside of it. I don't know how much of this we can show because we don't want to get dinged, but, like, it can walk on all 4s. It can stand up. It's insane. It's crazy.
Bro, throw a couple of 50 cals on that thing. And
This guy's here. Did you see that? Isn't that crazy? And they actually showed it, like, the strength of this thing. So they put up, like, concrete cinder blocks. And they weren't together with concrete. They were just stacked regularly. And the arm just hit it, knocked the entire thing down. They were trying to demonstrate its power. But it looked pretty cool to me. Hydraulics, right? Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool, man. All right. MEI is ripping. Just took out $13, and it doesn't really look like 13 is acting as any really major area of support, Joey. 13.09 high. We're showing 6s. Let's continue to watch this one. MEI is really moving. You also have this one here, QUCY. There's no shortage of these small cap names moving in the midday, guys. Trade them carefully because we know how this ends up working. Usually they give up the ghost, right? And we're going to hear about that ghost being given up and the trade that you can have off that when Luis Barbado comes on the show in about half an hour because he does take these bad boys short. So if you're looking for a short setup, you're not interested in getting long on these, stick with us till about for another half an hour. Crouching Tiger hidden rally. Cherif, the concrete cinder blocks were foam. Kidding. Nah, come on, man. Come on, man. They were breaking when he sent them down. Like, they were chipping. They couldn't be foam. But I get it, man. I mean, look, not everything that we see coming out of China is the real deal. I think this one is. We'll have to wait.
It's the real deal?
I did think at the
Bro, but
beginning
no,
it was
okay.
AI. I really did. But then a lot of other people started covering it on their pods.
Yeah. Remember that Temu jet ski that you were?
It was amazing. You don't like that?
Bro,
I want to bring that in.
It was like 200
It's
bucks.
not 200 bucks. That was a scam website.
Yeah.
This was actually like
you were
a few
you were
thousand.
Like, you were about it though for life. So
I
mean,
want to bring it as an investment, not as like a thing
bro,
for
it
me
would
to
probably
do.
last a couple of runs and then that
I
was
don't
it.
know why. Why do you think that?
Because it's probably cheap parts. How do you sell something of that
China
quality?
is like everything. You can get the super cheap to the super good, right? I mean, you know that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that thing was on the super cheap end of
How
things.
can you tell it was a
But
video?
bro, I know.
There's no way you could
What do
have
you mean?
known
How
that.
could I tell the price? You were like, this
The
thing's
price was
only like,
fake.
yeah.
That was like
okay, all
somebody
right.
took-
But you think the product was of quality?
It's hard to tell. I wouldn't make that conclusion. I would have to see it in real life. So it was basically like this battery-powered kind of jet ski, super small though. So I didn't think that it would fit like the North American-sized individual, if you get my drift there. Yeah, I didn't think it would be an easy sell here. It looks pretty damn cool, though. I think
look cool,
for kids, just a little outside the price point for something you get for your kids, though. It ended up being about like $1,000 a pop. By the time you imported it, it was a bit more. There's a company in Montreal who's the authorized reseller, and they have the electric, what is that thing? The surfboard, electric surfboard. Almost.
Okay.
Actually powers it. It's totally legitimate. They have.
Just call us.
Eh?
Someone's like, did Cherif just call us? not directly.
No.
Yo, you know what?
Hey, man.
You know what's big?
The statistics speak for themselves.
exactly.
Let me just tell you that, right?
It's not really a job. You know what's really big now? When I was out for a walk when it was nice the other day, and all the younger kids, they're getting on those dirt bikes, the electric dirt bikes, and you see them ripping around the city and stuff, and they have all these meets and
It's the same engine, the electric motor that's powering all these, right?
I would like to get one of those.
It looks cool as hell. I saw a kid on my street because I live on a kind of a dead-end cul-de-sac, right?
You see the kids with them there?
Ripping up and down. Yo, they're moving. Like this car, it was like moving 40, 50 clicks.
I like that. I love that stuff, man.
I don't
Add
mind
some
it at
flavor
all.
into the city. That's why I like all these dudes on the scooters and everything like that. Everything else is just so
Guys
bland.
got some of the Nile for sale, this idiot Arcane level. Shut the hell up, bro.
What do you say?
I don't know. Who cares? Let's go. We're still holding some MEI. We're looking for a retake of 13, and there goes QUCY into another area high, into 81.13. Look, watch out, man. This one is curled up easily off 76 pennies, and this could be headed to the dollar here, Joey. So QUCY up 150%.
All right, man. SPY doing the exact same thing. Silver hovering around that $80 mark. That's something that I was looking to get involved with here, but I was just buying more NVDA and more of the CDR of JPM as of late. I bought a little bit more NVDA this morning, but I seen this from a technical breakout standpoint. You can see there's that pivot high, and then we open up on the top of the range, and then sure enough, off to the races we go. We're still down a little bit here, so can we classify this as value? 27% to the downside, but gold not as weak, but not as strong here. Not as, and what I mean by weak is that it's not down 27%, it's only down 15%, but it's not participating within this move up. I still like gold. After I've seen this massive and insane move, I'll forever be a buyer of gold. I just think it's too ignorant.
Can I suggest something, though?
Yeah, what's that?
Can you look at the weekly on gold?
On gold?
And then perhaps you may want to rethink that. The weekly or the monthly? Because I want to show you the decade and a half where it did nothing.
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
look at that.
I see the weekly. Yeah. I mean, it could break down absolutely. Yeah. But I think just from a store of value standpoint, it didn't do much for quite some time. I understand, but then when it did do something, and I mean, I'm not talking about like it being a major holding. A couple of percentage points out of the portfolio into this, I don't think is a bad play whatsoever. So that's what I'm looking for. To do with gold and silver. It doesn't hurt you whatsoever to do that. I mean, this really started moving, Cherif, in November of 2022. So you go on a 4-year run, and if things cool down after that, then so be it. But 4 years of just steady up and to the right, I'm not going to complain about whatsoever. And the NASDAQ has been doing that as well. I mean, since COVID, like the end of COVID, look at this. Bang. Oh, this is when Joe starts trading right here. Oh, good stuff. Bang. For a full year, you get to the downside. But then after that, like December of 22, when you bought them, 175% in the NASDAQ. That's 4 years pretty much without no crazy pullback. And then this is the tariff tantrum here where you pull back about 25%. And then it's like, yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, cool. Bang, off to the races we go. And then we have CapEx, these hyperscalers just continuously spending money and also going to start bringing it in. So I have no reason to not remain long for the foreseeable future. And if we go even further out, I mean, if we're looking at the monthly, I don't know, like this is... I don't even really know what to say. It leaves me speechless at times. How could you ever bet against this? I don't know really. Is that your thing?
Yeah, so here it is. This is what Joey was making fun of me for. Let's show this quickly, Assassino. This is what it is. I don't think it's all that bad.
That's not that bad, man.
It's not that bad. I just want to see if it goes fast. Like, this is nice for kids and stuff like that, but I don't think it would fit a lot of the bigger men. Yeah, there he goes. It's ripping. I don't think it's too bad there, Joey. But, yeah. We got to go to Adara. All right, guys, MEI is ripping up another high of the day.
A couple different things to talk about here with oil. I'm just doing a little bit of an oil roundup because we had a couple different stories on USO here. Most recent, though, is Foreign Minister of Iran saying that Kuwait has unlawfully attacked an Iranian boat and detained 4 of their citizens. So I guess we have Iran not happy with Kuwait. We also had earlier, I think a little bit after 12, when Neil was doing his lesson of the day, reports that a Chinese ship passed through the Strait of Hormuz. So a couple different headlines here on oil just to be aware of. We're still getting these headlines. They're just not coming in as quickly, or they're not moving oil as much as they were a couple weeks back. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that. There goes MEI. It is the MEI and QUCY show. They both got into the high of the day. Obviously, QUCY a lot more up, or sorry, a lot higher up percentage-wise on the day, up 155%. Here it goes again, trying to take out 83.50. A lot of strength on this, and there goes MEI. We are now $1 in the money on this thing. It is absolutely on the rampage. We could see 14 pretty quickly here. There's 13.42. That's the high of the day. Simultaneously, QUCY taking out the high of the day, 87.50. They're both ripping up here, Joey. There's a lot of strength in these small cap gapper names, with QUCY having done 1/3 of a billion shares on the day.
What?
Yeah, man, 334 million shares. Juxtapose that to the lowly 1.97. It's still going, bro, and we're still holding. And there it goes into 50. That's going to end my trade there. We're going to see if we can get a little bit more if it does come back down into 13. But MEI has just been the gift that keeps on giving. I want to bring your attention as well to VELO, because that one did break out. I'm negative on VELO on the day. In fact, it's my biggest loser on the day. And we're positive, but it did drop down, stop me out after getting a beak wetter through 21. This one has a 2160 high at the moment. So I'd say be looking out here for a possible hold at 21.
What is Apple even doing right now?
Who cares? Leave it alone, bro. Leave it alone. Here comes 300 on the dead one, Apple. It ain't dead anymore, baby.
Leave it alone, bro. Leave it alone, bro. Who cares? Leave it alone, my guy.
It's going to reject 300 pretty bad, obviously, but Apple is absolutely taking off here. Nary a green candle in the last, I want to say, about half an hour or so. Good look there off that 12-15 candle. A lot of bottoming tails into 26.75, so it looks like 296.75. Looks like there was some resistance there initially at 297, but the dead one, Apple, now closing in on 4.4 trillion in market cap. Pretty close, Joey, 439 and change.
What are we at on
the NVDA? Goggles is up another 3% today.
Yeah,
and that gives it a $4.7 trillion market cap, with Nvidia at all-time highs, 227.84. Nvidia is now above $5.5 trillion market cap. Look, man, been, people were singing that the Mag 7 trade was lagging. Well, maybe some of them. Meta, right? Microsoft, they've seen better days.
Bro, sorry, I didn't. That was a hard. That was a hard on the bro.
Ahead, man.
But I literally listen. Again, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but just going through a couple of market cycles, I'm like, watch out for NVDA to really start moving. We've seen AMD just go on a big-time run. We've seen the memory plays. We've seen Google and all these other names, and NVDA is like, yeah, well, I'm not really participating. Well, guess whose time it is to shine right now? And I think it's Google, it's Apple, and it's NVDA right now. These guys are absolutely on fire. And then we have Bitcoin doing absolutely nothing. So why are we even talking about? Why did I bring Bitcoin up? I don't even know. Because a lot of people were talking about it not too long ago. And it's just like, what? Like, no, in all seriousness, we like it, but it's not its time in the limelight. It's just like, I'm sure it'll have its time where it really outperforms a couple other names, but now's not the case. What are we even looking at if it's not the chip trade right now, in my opinion? You want to get involved in the memories, you want to get involved in the AMDs and the NVDAs. And I told you, I'm hella long NVDA. Yeah, I'm hella long this name, and I will be for quite some time. I have no reason to switch things up. I'm honestly looking at this.
That's something that I've lamented. Not getting, I have some pre-split. I've neither removed.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
Nor added.
Hell no.
I've always been looking for a room to add, and every time I talk myself out of it. And you want to know why?
Why?
Because of my bias towards custom ASICs. I keep having this bias that it's going to hurt their revenues at some point, and it keeps not happening. So I've never gotten in more as a result of that.
Like, in the way that I was thinking about that too, Cherif, I know we talk about that, but then we have Jensen actually investing in companies with custom ASICs. This guy just has so much cash. He's like, okay, yeah, at the end of the day, I can make your chip however you essentially need it to be. We'll be vertically and horizontally integrated.
Exactly.
He's just... We talk about too big to fail, but you get to a point where you almost are, and you're just like, all right, $2 billion to Nebius, $2 billion to Marvell, $1 billion here, $1 billion there. It's like, okay, no problem. If you're going to be my competitor, I'll just own whatever you have, a partial of your company. And I think that's the narrative that we're sitting in.
Yeah, he gets it. He gets it. It's not.
And you made such an amazing point this morning. You're not even realizing any revenue from China.
None, man. We're going to get to that on the news.
Yeah,
you're none.
That is, so imagine.
The second largest economy in the world, and you have to assume it's a monster economy for semis.
So it's just like, dude, what happens when, if that does come into play, what is that going to do for the company?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's just like, that's why I'm like, right, just boom.
Yeah,
Flip that coin, man.
Guys, what the hell is this company over here, MEI, and who is buying it? We got to get in again. Here comes 14. It's 1382 high, showing 79s. Joey's flipping coins. I don't know what's going on there, especially with the question he asked me earlier about the coins. 1388. What is the short float on this? I'm going to have to check. Let's see if we can load up Perplexity over here super quick and get an idea of what the short interest is on MEI. Short interest on MEI. There goes 14. Guys, the volume is picking up here because I'm not the only one that's picking up on this now. It's on a lot of people's radars. It's up 50%. It's done almost 3 million shares. We were talking about this one 1 million shares ago, and that felt like 10 minutes. 4% of the float, if you believe market beat. Recent short interest selectively, okay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's not a lot, man. It's pretty small. So I don't know, maybe somebody's caught offside here, or maybe somebody's really buying, but MEI is just a rocket ship right now. Rejecting 14 for now. It's a 1410 high, dropping below. 1350 could be a pickup. 13 could also be a pickup. You have to assume that the Luis Barbados of the world, right? The small cap short traders, they're going to be looking at this as well for a mean reversion. I'm sure Obi may be onto this. Now we got a bit of a dip down here into 13 3/4. The reason I'm saying that is, the good times can last. You don't really know when that's going to end, but I'm assuming that there's going to be a mean reversion here at some point in time. So ADRs says 4.2% short float on MEI, kind of what I'm seeing as well. So that tracks. Shout out to AXPM, €5 super chat. Thank you very much, brother, for that. If you could only choose one, investing or trading, which would it be, and what's your target annual ROI? I can just speak for myself on this. I'm a much better investor than I am a trader. I was telling Joey, since I came to the floor here in 2022, my personal account has tripled since I joined here in May of 2022. So I think that speaks for itself. I'm a lot better of an investor than certainly a trader. So how do you feel?
I feel exactly how Neil feels and how you feel. Yeah, all day. My greatest success is
just telling you the truth.
From just the buy and hold strategy, buying quality companies, buying things that are in play, buying cyclical events, fundamental changes. It takes a little bit longer, but I think there's so much that comes with trading. There's a lot of taxation, and it was going to actually lead to what in many ways, and what I was going to say from Jeff. yeah, the opportunity is there within trading, and it's just always like a one win away mentality, which I think is very true. And I like what Jeff Bybee said here. 6 figures month to date, been trading for 5 years poorly. My gains this year have wiped out all of my losses. There was a lot of losses, and I like how that he put that in there. That's how I can tell it's a genuine individual. But he's learning it. But I think what Jeff had going on, and the way that I'm going to be looking at what Jeff super chatted, is that it's just that one win away mentality, and I think trading presents that opposed to investing, which is essentially a longer term game. But yeah, you always have that one win mentality. But with that being said, there's an immense amount of taxation that comes with trading. For me personally, anyways, I don't know how people look at it or how other people treat it. Because I was later in the game when I started, right? I was like 29 years old when I first started learning. 28, 29 years old when I first started learning about trading. So I was I wouldn't say up there, but I wasn't a young pup like some individuals. It takes some time, but investing is definitely something that I've found much more success in. And I just buy it, and you forget about it. Like that set and forget thing is real. Forget it. It is real. It's true. It's very, very real. But yeah, I mean, it's the each their own, man. Some people, I know Sean might say something else, but he's been investing since he was in his early 20s. He's been in the game for for a very long time.
And he's also been trading for about 25 years.
For 25 years, right? Like, so he's been trading since he was in his early 20s. So
he hired Neil.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
You know what I mean? So those guys were just young pups at that time.
So those who don't know Sean's story, Sean was a trader on the prop floor, and then he started basically going around the world. And he would go to Russia, he'd go a lot of different places from his own stories. And he'd set up these prop firms, offices all around the world.
Luis.
So he started teaching.
You see what Luis just said?
I hired all of them, Luis.
Man.
I didn't know that.
Is that true?
I have no idea.
I don't feel like he would just say that.
Yeah, well, Luis doesn't usually, he's not a fabricator. But hey, I don't know. We'll find out from him when he comes on in about 15 minutes. If you want to see Luis Barbeda 1, you got to stick with us for another quarter hour here, Joey.
Yeah, other than that, man, as for trading...
it's a joke, but actually we started the same year.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
They started the same year, so these guys been in the game for quite some time, yeah. And Apple's holding up as NVDA is starting to come back in towards the volume-weighted average price, but helping drag the NASDAQ and the SPY. Someone said finish Sean's story. I'm not one to do that, Sharif. I know.
That's really the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
he told me the exact same thing.
He was hired as a prop trader initially, and if you understand what trading was back then, it wasn't what we were doing because trading was a lot different back then, right? You were just basically, you were taking huge positions for small moves, and that was kind of the nature of that, and there was also the rebate aspect of it. A lot has changed because the markets are a lot more efficient, so the old style, the Katina Man and the Neil, they were all doing, it's not really like working anymore here. But the point is, he went about, started teaching everybody else all over the world, expanding the company beyond our shores. And basically that's why Luis is there. There's many different prop firms with the company all around the world. And that was basically what Sean was doing. He was going around and he was opening up all those places. And the way that the show started, ironically enough, is it was for all those offices, all those foreign offices. So they started a show so that the traders at these foreign offices and everywhere could actually know what was moving in the trade. And so they started, the show was actually an internal show. And then they're like, oh, YouTube, right? Hey, let's put this on YouTube. Yeah. There's a huge market out there. And that's kind of how it got started. So it started internally for the company, Real Trading. It used to be called Day Trade the World. But I think that's a Katina Man story. We can verify with him when he came back. But when he comes back, pardon me. So that's kind of look there. A little zig and zag here, Joey, through 14 on MEI. I'm in at 12s. It's showing me 10s. I'm looking for a continuation here. It's a 429 high. Let's see how this cookie crumbles. So prior bar lows, 1358. Current bar low is 1362. So there's somebody buying around the 2/3 to the $0.50 here of MEI, at least for the last 10 minutes. Let's see if this one's got the juice to take out 14 and head to 15. I stop out below the $0.50.
All right, good stuff, man. So over here looking at the portfolio tracker, waiting for some good opportunities Do we buy some more NVDA on the dip? I think so. We just have to be patient and wait for those levels to come into play. But here we go, man. Here's a portfolio tracker. We have Obi back at the top of things, 28%. Sean sitting in that second spot. Ramin really starting to find her ground here. What do we got here on? Oh, that's me. So Ramin up 7.4%. Is that the boy there? Is that Fabian turning? No. Yeah, 7.4%. That's me. I wish that we could see a line. It's just so far away. My poor eyes. Yeah, so that's me. And then we have ADRs sitting in that fourth slot. And then Randy doing his thing right there. Neil, bottom of the barrel still, unfortunately, for our guy, down 14%. Yeah, Mateo, down 11%, my guy over there.
What does he have, concrete stocks?
He has Uber. No, but yeah, no, seriously, Amrise.
I know, because you said that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Amrise and something else there. He's got Uber.
Mateo's a really good trader, too, just so
you know, watch out for him. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, he's the...
I call him market maker Mateo.
Yeah, but I think that's...
Secret.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, the dude's a weapon on the ice as well.
He is. Is he actually good at hockey? This guy, nobody's as good as you, Joey. This guy,
no. I'm honestly only playing around. But no, we'll send things over to Adara. I just want to head back to our watch list, and I want to lock in here and find some opportunities. Apple's just going absolutely parabolic. We have Caterpillar up to $903 here. Is that the all-time high? Not too far off of it, $936. When's this thing gonna split? So
worry about it, bro.
Yeah, I'm worried about it, man, because I want to get involved. I want to buy some Caterpillar. We'll send things off to Adara and we'll get right back into this market.
Got it, Joey.
Keep an eye here on OLED and NNOX. Looks like these are both getting a little bit of a spike here after Nvidia announced something on their blog, specifically their developer page, saying talking about accelerated X-ray analysis for nanoscale imaging of novel materials. Again, nanoscale imaging post here from Nvidia and NNOX, that's NanoX imaging, and OLED, universal display, both of these pushing higher. Again, nanoscale imaging bump from NVDA. Back to you.
There goes MEI again, Joey. Into 60 pennies. We've got 12s on again. This is really going, guys. It's all gas. There's no brakes. They're not functioning at the moment. There's a buyer at 14.40, a buyer of note, and right back into the $0.50 we go. I'm looking now for 3/4, okay? The high of the day is 59, and there goes the high of the day into 80, Joey. Didn't even give me an opportunity to punch keys, man. What the helly? 1480 high, and I just saw that accidentally on my side chart. I didn't see any prints here that were 80s, quite frankly, but there is 60 again, looking for the continuation now, looking for a bigger move up. Let's see if we can get 3/4. I'm just gonna post at 77, come what may. This has been a very, very good name. You don't typically see this type of price action, not in this way and not in that direct way, but down into 14, Joey, down goes Fraser. Unbelievable. So we ended up getting stopped out for a loss there of around, what did I get there? I got a 3 penny loss. Not bad, not great, especially because it was just at 1480. This is bleeding its own blood. Down into 13. Here we go. I was just singing this one's praise, and it flips a script on me. Can it find support at the 10 EMA? The 10 EMA and the volume weighted average price are overlapping here with basically, I think, about 5 pennies between them. Oh, wow, what a drop down. I'm not picking it up long here, but that was a successful trade despite the fact that it flushed there. 1480 high. Katina, man, we were just talking about you, brother. We were giving everybody your story about how you started as a prop trader. You hired Neil. Then you started going around the world, opening up different offices. So we were giving the whole story and how the show started as an internal show for the offices to kind of give them something to trade. And then you expanded to YouTube. The Katina man is back in the house. So yeah, we were just talking about that. I'm sure he'll have more to say on the afternoon show. If you want to know more about Sean's story, just tag him, of course. And I'm sure he'll have more to say. Yeah, right, brother. He says he never has anything to say. That's not accurate. All right, guys, we're having a good time. Yes, Marlin, MEI just dumped. What a drop off that 1480 high, and quick as you like. We found support there at 13. In fact, it actually did breach 13, guys, on a wick basis. 1298 is the area low. Look at that range, Joey. 1466 high 12.98 low on the same 5-minute candle.
Luis said he just crushed that right there.
Atta boy, Luis. Yeah. Fantastic. Good look there, Luis, especially above 14. I got to tell you, I had a bias we'd hit 15. I guess maybe 14.80 is a glance towards 15. Let's talk about what's moving right now because there's a lot again. TDIC, I want to stress that this one has been inconsistent and bamboozling at times. Every time it makes a new area high, it sells off, but here we are. Just don't forget what we did at the 11:30 candle. That high there is 444. We're showing 435. Now back down into 426. TDIC. There's also QUCY, which has been less bamboozling than TDIC. It's putting in, I would perceive to be the second bull flag after the breakout above VWAP. We had that initial breakout 11:55. Then you had a consolidation for about 15 minutes. Then it broke out again. And now you're having about a 20-minute consolidation here. A little above 80, a little bit below. QUCY, keep that in your purview. VELO as well, hanging out near highs. I'm negative on this one. Didn't have the right read. Bit more expensive if you're trying to size in with a smaller account. But VELO, holding trend. And about 50 pennies off the highs. And that, last but not least, Joey, OUST, we said very little about this one, but it was a money fill off that 1350 and or the 20 moving average on the 5-minute chart. And here it is, trying to reclaim that 32.75 area with a 33.11 high on the day. Just go back to quickly here to MEI. So look, we have a higher low now, but be careful. The best part of the trade here on MEI could be done. I don't know. We have to see what the next, price action in the 15, 20 minutes that follow are. But we did initially find support at 13/VWAP/ the 10 EMA. Okay, so MEI, let's keep an eye out on this one, but let's not be as aggressive with it now with the big sellers that are coming in.
EXN is one of the big sleepers here, I think. We don't even really talk about Texas Instruments, but yet we're talking about this name going to an all-time high. Up substantially off of the March lows, the end of March up 63%. I mean, everything that TXN is doing right now is just done, I feel like just done behind closed doors. And we're talking about the AMDs, the NVDAs, but none of us are talking about this name. I think it needs a little bit more recognition, offers a dividend as well too, because I'm all about $1.42, what? Like Texas Instruments. This is really bothering me here today.
What's wrong?
No, this thing in my ear, it's just really getting on my nerves. And TXN really climbing, guys. $310, another all-time high. And then I was looking at Applied Materials, not far off of that 448 marker, down a little bit, but just something else. We were talking about the Mount Rushmore. What are you putting in your chip trade? What is the real winners and the true goats of this AI boom? And you can just go down the list. Dare I go into the crypto space? There's Coinbase, not doing too much, but the channel up here, not too bad, guys. Still holding up some higher lows, but there's a flat top. I thought we would get a breakout through this level at that 217 marker and then climb a little bit higher. So keep an eye out on Coinbase. I just think we'll have to wait until there's a rotation and the space becomes popular once again. I just don't think that's the narrative. We have Robinhood down to $77 from a high of $154. We're talking about a 50% decline in this name here, and same thing with Bitcoin. You're still down 40%, and it looks like it's going to break this channel. We never got those strong sessions, in which I was referring to on multiple occasions, that would just send us through that $50 level and that $80,000 marker on Bitcoin itself, and then heading towards the 100K. We just never got that. So yeah. I mean, I don't know why my boy's calling me like he doesn't know that we're doing a show here. But anyways, I should have answered and just be like, hey, man, what's going on?
You want to take it?
No, I'm being sarcastic. It's not important whatsoever. But yeah, Walmart doing some things here, holding up these levels as well. Not too far off of its all-time high, 134%, only 3.25 off of the ATH. But JPM putting in that strong session yesterday. We thought we'd see a little bit more turnaround strength, but that hasn't been the narrative. You can see that wick low of 295.86. holding, and then we bounce off a bit, but no continuation on today's session. Just the chips just back in play. AMD, not so strong here, actually. We'll head over to that. And then I was looking at Netflix, same thing, guys, $87, not performing too well. AMD 448.02. Nice recovery here. You see that buying pressure really start to step in. 430. We haven't even entered this gap up here. At some point we will, but maybe just not anytime soon. $500 seems like it's totally reasonable, especially at this pace. Things just might move sideways. I heard Michael Noss mention that not too long ago. We might not just continue up. There might be a slow rotation into names like NVDA and other things that have been lagging and things that have been leading the way cool down for the moment, and then sure enough we get right back into things. October of 25 all the way to March of 26, so multiple months can justify this breakout. And we talk about the length of a consolidation. Typically you see, if you're going textbook talking, you see a massive breakout, and that's exactly what we've seen here in AMD. NVDA starting to play its part now, and other names as well. So a lot going on, a lot of positivity. We have the cybersecurity names starting to find their ground now, only a couple percentage points off of the lows when they were down 40% respectively in each in PanW and in CrowdStrike. Zscaler not performing very well, but yeah, I'm ready to go.
I want to cover the user on TikTok. Thank you so much for that question. What do you guys think about Snap A price at the moment? Let's just take a quick look at Snap.
I think they got an upgrade this morning.
They did, eh?
Yeah.
Well, you would know, right? So we're going to keep an eye out for that, SNAP. Look, I got to tell you, I'm not a big fan of Snapchat as a company, just in general, but we'll start with the weekly and maybe it'll be clear as to why. Well, there you go. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to see these COVID highs again into $83. And quite frankly, we're below the 200 on the weekly. We're below the 50 on the weekly as well. And it's just been a symphony of lower highs. So unless something fundamentally changes with this company, I'm not a big fan. However, let's look at the 4-hour chart and see where the local areas of support and resistance are. We definitely have initial resistance. Look at that 5 to 5.25, which we're now holding. It looks like that 5.25, 5.5 now holding as a general area of support. You can kind of see that ever since the mid-April, April 14th, it kind of rocketed up. But you know, you're still, even if you are to catch a bid, look at that 7.25 level. That's going to be a tough level to get through. That was resistance for months and months, this level right here. You can kind of see the line just cut through there. So I personally don't like Snapchat. But if you're looking at picking it up, there is a level here at $5 to $5.50, which could be support. If it holds that level, maybe you can test that 630 area, 6.25, it looks like, as a general area of resistance. So keep that in mind. Just before we go to Luis, I got into QUCY. I'm looking for a 75-penny hold, and I'm looking for a move into $1. Okay? We're in at 81. Here comes 82. 87.50 high. We'll see how this cookie crumbles. Luis Barbado from the great city of Barcelona, Spain. Good afternoon, or to you, good evening, Luis. How's everything going, brother?
Everything is great here. Good evening. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock here.
7 o'clock. And it's 7 o'clock, and you're also very heavily in the money on the MEI short, because this thing can't stop selling right now. It's going to lose 12.50. Luis, talk to us about MEI, because a lot of people in the chat are talking about it.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's not the kind of movement that I like, to be honest, because it's very linear. So we don't have a lot of noise to go in and out, you know, of the trades. Let me make these arrows, triangles a little bit smaller. There is not a lot of noise up and down, so it doesn't give me the clue where it's going to stop, or if it's going to keep going, where are the buyers, where are the sellers. You know, we need more movement up and down to make it easier to forecast with the tape reading when is the moment to go up or down. You know, it's more about the timing more than the direction. So it's not my ideal stock, but following you because I trust your longs. I took a small long here on this support 250 to 70s. Took profit too early, and then a couple of try short. This one all the way down here. It was nice. It doesn't look it's a lot, but look, it's almost 50 cents down. I start adding, and then all the way down. And here the same. Add 3 or 4 entries and all the way down to 13.20. So nice stock, although as I said, it's not my style, my typical stock.
Is it free to borrow, or you have to pay for locates on that?
easy free to borrow, what it made it a little bit more tricky to short, because when it's easy to borrow, more shorts can get stuck there in positions.
Exactly. That was going to be where I was leading with that. Okay, so one thing that I want to ask you is, my thinking about this one was that I would be looking for a short below 13. And I see that you took it at the top there, and good on you for doing that. But the only reason I say 13 is because, number one, it had a bit of a consolidation area there for about 15 minutes. So that was my first observation. The second observation was I noticed that the volume weighted average price and VWAP were kind of overlapping right around 13. So my thinking was if it lost that level, perhaps it showed us that the sellers were in control. You got in a lot quicker, though.
Well, yeah, I got up front. I sorted front side this, and VWAP was my exit point. That's where the first exit point. It is likely that we might see some rebound, and then I will short it. We see around the VWAP a little bit higher with a tighter stop, this 1340 as near stop. I will short it closer to the VWAP, not here, but it is a little bit tight range now to short it.
Gotcha. All right, Luis, let's talk a little bit about else. What else did you have on deck today? What were you looking at? What was a trading day like for you today?
It was interesting day. First one, I think we have to check QUCY. Okay, this one that you mentioned before, this one. And I said pre-market with Brendan, is a short as it holds below 62. Okay, so we took it a lot of shorts in this range around the VWAP, but with a very tight stop. At that moment was 62. Once it lost VWAP, the stop was 58, 59, just above the VWAP stop. And I said to Brendan, if it breaks 64, 65, you should go long because two things. First of all, it's not a US company, okay? It's a German company, so the movement is more volatile, it can get more parabolic when it's an ADR. And second one, it has non-compliant with price. We talk almost every week about this. So the stock has to go over $1 for 10 consecutive days. The warning was 20th of March, so they have a lot of time to do it, but they tried already 3 times. I'm gonna try to put it here so you can see. They tried 3 times for this month and it didn't work out. So they are gonna keep trying. Maybe today they go over $1. So these two things, although it has a chart of pump and down history, you see up and down many days, okay? If you go back in the past, you will see a lot of days of pump and dump. Although you got this kind of behavior, it's true, but it has this bid price non-compliance. So it's very, very likely that they might try to go over $1. So those things together set me up a very tight stop for the shorts.
Fantastic stuff always. I want to talk about QUCY momentarily, but I want to kind of lead this conversation, and I just want your opinion and what you're thinking here, because we've heard before that you were trading SanDisk, and you traded a couple of these memory plays before. And with the chip trade really in play right now, I mean, we're talking about NVDA hitting all-time highs today. We've got Google around that neck of the woods, and just strong strength within this tech trade right now. Do you ever think like, hey, let me put these small cap trades to the side and let me focus on some of these larger market cap names? I'm just curious on what your thought process is on that.
Yeah, not to the side, because I will always trade because I think I will have a clear edge there. But when some sector, like right now, at least these tech companies are in play because they are all-time highs like Nvidia or Intel or SanDisk and so on. So I try to combine both of the trade styles, let's say. So I am trying to be a little bit more selective on the small cap in the number of trades and in the size of the trades, because I'm gonna spread my daily risk in other sides as well. So today, again, I trade SanDisk and the opposite leverage SNDQ, because I think I have a little bit of edge there. And I tried also Micron short against this 800 level. It worked really fine on this one. So it's not that I'm gonna put aside the small cap, but my risk is spread between all the 2 different stocks, kind of stocks.
Perfect. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so I want to, as I'm heard you and Cherif talking about QUCY, I'm looking at this and I see multiple shelves starting to be formed. And what am I referring to? Is this initial one? I heard you mentioned to Brent, if it breaks that 65 marker, it can go, it takes that additional leg higher. Now, what are you thinking here? Because what we have is a support level at 75 and no real break below that. I mean, it wicks it and then it continues to climb higher. Do you think that there could be a potential short here into the volume-weighted average price at the break of this 75-cent marker?
So far, it's not a short scenario for me. I won't short this one unless I see something very, very clear, a fade of 95, 97 cents, close to the dollar. But so far, I'm going to stay away from this one because it, as you say, it's doing support sells all the way up, and the $1 level is quite near. So I think they're going to try it some more. Maybe it's about time. Maybe here 8:39. So there is 2:33. You know, just before the closing bell, 1 hour before the closing bell, they might try, and then it will be very good for us because we will have a toy for tomorrow, right? So let's see if they push over $1 because then we will have a more clear trade tomorrow probably.
Perfect. So just one more question on this so I can get a little bit more of an understanding. So we have leg one, right? Like we can classify this as shelf one ABCD pattern. You have that first initial move, consolidation, leg higher. As we continue to climb, is there a level or amount of bull flags or ABCD patterns that you've seen? You're like, oh, okay, this is a little bit too many, and then our probability of that move starting to come back in starts to increase. So say we see another leg higher here up into 95. You're like, all right, the volume's starting to cool off. Is that when you really start to prepare for looking for this as a short, or just tell me a little bit more about that as we continue to climb higher?
I don't think it's about the number of legs that it will do. I don't think ABC pattern or something like that, it works in so small caps and sub-dollar stocks. You know, I think it's more about shorts and longs being comfortable and levels where they have to stop out. It's more about a battle here between short bias and long. Look at that. Look at
Wow.
that.
There it goes.
Wow.
Yeah, there it is, man.
Oh, my Lanta.
That was insane.
Yeah, because I just took the top on that, Luis, 88, set up for an 89, and it just flushed. I mean, how many hundreds of or millions of shares did it actually have to take out to push that down? 375.7 million shares traded on the day. It feels like the majority of that just came in there, Luis. Got stopped out of that. I was looking for the dollar.
Yeah, this is what we usually call a death candle. So if you don't see any rebound here, it's dead for the day. And we might see 50 cents in the end of the day. This is what we call a death candle. But if it holds here 75
exactly,
and it goes to highs, so traders are big time stuck in a huge position if it goes to new highs. So be careful.
So just speaking of this, and I was talking about this 75-cent break, Cherif was talking about the volume that stepped in. Now, we had 1.35 roughly million shares come in on that 1-minute candle. Is that enough volume for you to see and support a move and a continuation potentially lower? Because we are right at that support level right now. And if we see that volume sustained, do you think that that path can be continued into the volume-weighted average price?
Yeah, it might. I mean, right now, you might short it against the 80 cents or something like that. But over the 80 cents, it's a little bit tricky because all the short will get very, very cautious to stop. Look, the positions here is not 1,000 shares. It's hundreds of thousands shares for the big traders. So they need some liquidity pools to get out of the trade, right? Don't think like small fees that we are probably trading thousands of shares, but people here are trading hundreds of thousands of shares because they are looking for 10, 15 cents movement, and that's nothing for them, you know, it's the bread and butter of each trade. So they need liquidity pools. They need zones, areas of prices where they know they can just punch out 300,000 shares. So, you know, that's why if it goes over 80, 81 cents, they will be in trouble.
Great point there, Luis. Fantastic look. A lot of small cap names moving today. We have a lot. We had TDIC, QUCY.
TDIC, man, you gotta mention this because this is very nice for you.
Let's talk about it.
No, it helped. Look at this. It's trading all the day above pre-market highs, above VWAP, and above the opening price. So it's a long, perfect long bias trader setup, So
Right.
long in every. I think as we talked about this last week, whether you buy supports area and pullback areas or you buy breakouts, right? I'm not a breakout trader. I will never buy this breakout because, it looks easy on the paper, but when you're in, most of the times it fails, they kick you out, it's very fast. First of all, you have to be very fast trading this kind of setup. And second, you have to be very, very strict, very disciplined with the risk reward, because if you are wrong in one breakout and you don't cut your losses, all the risk reward and winning ratio just get destroyed, right? So you could buy all the pullbacks. Look, it's trading very nice above VWAP. Even here, 380, look, this support here above VWAP. So longs are pretty comfortable right now, yeah.
Can I say something to you, Luis? What I've noticed a lot with these ones, you bring up a really good point in that fact that it's trading above the volume weighted average price, it's trading above the pre-market high. So as a long only trader, you see that, you're like, okay, I've got the right setup. But can I show you this on the chart? Because this is what frustrates me a lot. These candles here, and I've talked to you about this before, when it takes out a key level, for example, here you could see the closing print on the 1045, the 1050 candle, and the top wick on the 1105 candle, all showing a 430 rejection. And then you get this move here on the 1130 candle, taking out 430, taking out 440, only to be followed by a candle to breach the prior bar low, sending you down below $4 into 390. I always feel that these ones who have made an area high and that can't reclaim that high of the day end up putting in those lower highs, and we're kept down by these lower highs. Like, look at my chart there. Every area high seems to be a little bit lower than the prior area high. I find these ones to be the most frustrating. I know you're not really going long a lot on these, but do you see what I'm saying with that? And what can I've kind of... What methodology can I get around that? Should I be bottom picking or just leave it alone altogether?
I think, first of all, with these erratic movements, what you cannot buy is in a momentum time. You cannot buy when it's going up like very sharp, because then this noise and these wrong wicks, as you say, they kick you out of the trade. But look, it's not always easy like yesterday on this stock, like support up, support up. Sometimes it's just tricky. The longs have to be scared of the movement, Shorts, they need to think it might work. And then if the shorts are wrong, and now we break this 430 area, all the shorts that now are confident because, as you say, we are seeing higher lows. And sometimes if you're a long bias trader and you have a nice support to get out of the trade, what you need is a lot of shorts wrong at some moment, because then it will go parabolic. If it's so clear that it's going up all the time, it won't get parabolic because there are no shorts on the trade. So you need to stack some shorts here, that it looks, it might work, and then it goes to over 430 and it will break.
Right.
Look, this is yesterday, overnight, and pre-market today break. You never go short against this kind of breakouts on a daily chart, right? You go like 1 hour. We're breaking, look. You can see we broke 150, we break 250, breaking 350 yesterday. So you don't go short front side here because it's very, very difficult. Now you can go short, and you have a nice risk reward, I have to say. You're just risking maybe 20, 30 cents.
Right.
And you make $1, but if it goes over there and you are long, that's what you want. We always talk about, in the stock market, a lot of people loses more money. So very, very few people make big money. So right now you need a lot of people wrong here on the short side, so your long might work.
That makes a lot of sense. No, that's actually quite an astute point where, if we're going to really make that big move up, there has to be a lot of shorts caught offside. That's a great point there, Luis. Let's deviate a little bit, though. Let's talk a little soccer. So we're, last couple of games of the season, right? La Liga's pretty much already decided. You guys are going to win. And there's really no issue about that. The Premier League, though, Luis, that one is still an interesting one with Man City playing today at 3 with Crystal Palace. Do you think Arsenal locks this up, or City still have a chance?
I have to say, after the City-Arsenal match, I thought City was on the odds to make the championship. But, you know, they failed last week, I think it was, right? They tied a game in the last minute. So it's going to be difficult. I haven't checked the calendar of both teams, but I think Arsenal might have a chance.
That's what I want to hear there, Luis.
Maybe Champions League will have some effect on the psychology of the
And that's the thing. That's what I was worried about, because it's like a week after the last game, which we play away at Crystal Palace. But I want to ask your opinion. So there was a big controversial call last week with VAR. Did you watch the West Ham game and the late drama there that happened between Arsenal and West Ham, or no?
No.
No, yeah, there was a foul there on the keeper, and a lot of people making it. Yeah, you saw that one, right? Yeah. Do you think it was a foul?
Yeah, it's very difficult. That's for what we have the VAR, right, to decide.
Yeah, exactly.
Things. No one is going to be happy anyway with that tight calls, you know.
It was a very tight call, and you know it was important for both teams, right? Because West Ham is going to get relegated if they continue in this way, and then Arsenal obviously could win the championship. So it was like both sides. The referee. There's actually a really interesting video, Luis, on the Premier League channel on YouTube. I don't know if you remember the old referee, Howard Webb, the bald guy. He's tall, he's a big guy. Yeah.
Strong one, yeah.
Yes. He does this. He does it with, I think, Michael Owen, the old England attacker, and they went through the entire conversation that the two VAR referees were having and how they were kind of digesting it, making the decisions. It was really insightful and really transparent to kind of see how they were making the call there for anybody who's interested in watching that as well. I like that part of it because we always want to know what the decision-making process of the referees is. So I want to mention
absolutely.
that.
Sometimes the rules or the new rules about offside and some kind of penalties and all that is not clear. So it's very good that they have this VAR open conversation. But anyway, if you want to be happy with the referees, you got to be a Real Madrid fan because they always get help, you know?
Exactly, right? All right, Luis Barbado from the...
hold on now.
I'm sorry.
Did he tell us the temperature yet over there?
No,
we need to know,
question, man. I want to know.
Come on, man.
You can see the sun here, by the way.
What's the temperature? What do you got, Luis? 23, 24?
Yeah, 24, 25.
Why do you think? Yeah, 20. It's only 24.
Let's do one thing. I'm gonna show you close.
Yes. Yes. This is what I was looking
for.
We're getting
a view for the first time. There we go. Look at the blue skies.
Look at the blue skies, man.
He's opening the window too.
Show me the nearest palm tree. Oh man,
it's all blue skies, and it's 7 o'clock over there.
Man,
right? 7:20 over there. Is it blue skies outside, Katina, man? All right, well there we go.
All right, we'll take it.
We'll take it.
Blue skies and humid out.
Yeah, stop with the humid, bro. All right, Luis Barbado. Thank you for coming on, Luis.
Thank you
Great
much.
seeing you again. And we'll see you next Wednesday. We'll see you in the morning. Luis is on twice on Wednesday, guys. He's on with Brendo and I in the morning, and then he's on with Joey and I in the afternoon. Make sure you are here. Luis Barbado from the A-Day Trading in the Barcelona office. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you very much, guys.
Bit of a slam here on Apple, as you can see, falling from these highs. As we can report some of the information suggesting that the company is considering ways to welcome AI agents into the App Store. If and when I get more context, I'll let you know. But either way here, AAPL moving around as the information reports the company is considering exploring different ways to have AI agents featured within the App Store. Again, not sure the capacity or the extent of this yet. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. Yeah, we got the information article here, and we'll be able to read it out shortly. So we'll be able to get some of that information hopefully sooner rather than later. But Apple making all-time highs, $300.37. As Adara mentioned, though, dropping on that report. We'll have to see exactly what that entails. But for the moment right now, Joey, we're going to focus on some of these small caps, and QUCY absolutely lost it. As Luis was talking about it, it dropped off a cliff. And MEI, here comes MEI again. Shorts, be made aware. There was a buyer, a monster buyer at 12.5. This one couldn't breach 12.5, and here it is again. right back above 13, but watch out for the lower highs. That is kind of the problem here. And then last but not least, before we send it to Joey, see what he's up to. AIIO is making that move. It is back. It held 2. In fact, it held 205 and now is at that 230 level. Recall, though, we had a lot of trouble at 235. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What a drop there from 235 into 220. But okay, so 2 things. Number 1, watch out for the lower high, right? Because that could be the setup for the flat bottom breakthrough 205. That's number 1. Number 2, don't forget there was a staunchy seller at 235 because we had no closing prints above that level, despite the fact that it is at 245 high of day. AIIO up a respectable 70% on the day, but trade it carefully. But there goes MEI. It is taking out the levels, Joey. It is on the move. It is above VWAP by 35 pennies. It's ramping up here into 40. Here comes the $0.50 on MEI. I don't know, man. This one might be back. I worry about the lower high, though. So I'm going to pack the patience, see how we trade at 14, and then we'll decide whether or not to get involved. Joseph, options.
Absolutely. So what I see here on Apple, Gorev, I know you've been long this name for quite some time, but I cannot ignore this. If we get any form of a pullback, that is an insane amount of volume with selling pressure really starting to push price back lower here to $299. You tap into $334. Now you're breaching the lower end of this candle, exactly where it opened. But this is the second largest volume print of the day. So that's a substantial amount of shares being traded at that specific level. I can't help but say this is somewhat of a form of stopping volume, and we're currently starting to turn around. So we have to be patient and wait for this level to hold. If not, be prepared for some more topside price action. Where am I going to be looking for an engagement? 299.97, and then maybe a move back and towards the volume-weighted average price. That is my game plan right now on AAPL. I was looking at an additional breakout here on NVDL. We had that trade earlier in the day, and then it climbed to a new HOD, touched an all-time high, now starting to come back in a little bit. NVDL up 5.45%, so cut that in half, and that's what the actual underlying is trading at from a percentage gain on the session. Now, as for the NASDAQ and the SPY, this is insane. And I mean, the banks aren't even participating. Should I say the bank? Like, what is XLF up to? We'll look at that right now. Or is it just JPM that's being hog garbage? These things it's not even doing anything today. XLF, the second heaviest weighted sector in the SPY, not really doing anything, and sure enough, off to the races. What are the staples doing? Our Costco's, our Walmart's, our Procter's and Gamble's. What else do we got on there? Target. I know that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, he emptied that one there. So Katina Man unloaded the clip. It's now empty. I don't know if we're going to get a reload on that one, but he's all at. You're still holding 20%? He's still in 20% of that position, leaving some for the dream. So nice call out there. Do you own Walmart, Katina Man? Oh, man. Oh, Zon? Only the Zon. Okay. All right. Are we classifying Amazon as a staple now? Yeah, all right. I think that's a legit question to be had, though. Because if you can start doing grocery shopping on Amazon, then would you not put it into the staple? Because it's in the discretionary, and it's one of the top holdings. But if it starts to deliver things like groceries, I'm referring to, then why wouldn't we put that into the staples? Anyways, aside from that, nonetheless, we have Amazon. Is that at all-time highs here today? Let's pull it up and see what we have going on. I should switch the chart. We're only a couple percentage points. Katina Man and I love Amazon. I don't know how you feel about Amazon, aside from AWS in the retail space there, Cherif, but we really like this name, $272. You're only down 3.8% off of that high. Netflix is still a disaster at this point, not participating, but its time will come. Every dog has its day, as they typically like to say. I remember a goalie said that to me one time. After a goalie said that to me after I scored a couple of goals on him. He's like, yeah, every dog has its day. And then I did the exact same thing next time I seen him. And I'm like, what if this dog's day is every day?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, yeah, if I do the same thing every day, is that really having my day?
I really didn't like that. Yeah, I like a lot of people, and it's tough for me to not
like a lot of people. Yeah, you're a pretty agreable person.
I am. Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I can
you're
find
a pretty
a way.
agreeable person.
Yeah, I think so. There goes me agreeing, but no, at the end of the day, it's really tough for me to not like you, and I just didn't like that. I didn't like that individual for some reason.
I don't like highly critical people, and so he sounds like he was quite critical.
He was just a weird dude. Goalies were always kind of the weird people, anyways. That's just the narrative that they go by. But as for
Joey, MEI is ripping again,
still,
man.
Yeah, it's going back after it sold off there. It's right back up to the races. But I wanted to talk about Taiwan Semi here for a moment before we send it back to you on that. Here, break through the volume weighted average price back up to $404. The forgotten pick by Neil and I yesterday when we were talking about the Mount Rushmore of this AI boom. I don't know how we forgot about TSM Madera bringing that to our attention, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to be able to get more of a read on this article. It is behind a paywall, so I may or may not be trying to do something here. But in any event, here are some of the highlights from said article. Apple is exploring a dedicated section of the Apple Store specifically. It's okay. Specifically, as the article reads, for AI agents, these wouldn't be typical apps you can open, but rather background services that you hire, quote unquote, to perform recurring tasks like managing your calendar, booking travel, filing for expenses on other apps. That's the main point here. It's going to be the end of the UI first app. So what does this mean? It signals a massive pivot for developers. Apple is pushing a new framework where apps are built around app intents rather than just a visual interface. The goal is for AI agents to reach into the app and pull data or execute a button press without the user ever seeing the actual screen within the app itself. And there's going to be a monetization aspect of this. So a key part of this explorative approach by Apple involves how to charge for these. Apple is reportedly considering a subscription share model for agents where a single monthly fee might cover multiple specified agents, with Apple taking the Apple tax, as we know it's about 30%, on the recurring utility rather than just a one-time app purchase. There's also Siri's part in this whole thing. So Siri's going to orchestrate a lot of this. So unlike OpenAI's ChatGPT, which lives inside of ChatGPT, Apple wants its App Store agents to be orchestrated by Siri. This would make Siri the manager kind of thing that delegates your requests, like plan a dinner for 4. You just say that and maybe it asks you where you want to go. To specific third-party agents like the Open Table agent or an Uber agent, the calendar agent, whatever. It's supposed to be seamless. So we'll have to see how this all works out. Still don't have the actual article itself, so I'm going off summaries from other sites, but we're gonna wait. Hopefully we'll have the full read. But Apple back above 300, guys, $300.37. The dead one is back above 300, and more pleased I could not be. Let's see if we can kind of ride this rally and see where this one goes. I do expect some resistance here, wouldn't you? At $300, at least for a day or two or something. What are your thoughts?
I don't think so, man. I mean, we're blue sky at this point. This thing is just going absolutely. Like, who's to say this isn't going to hit like 3.25 relatively soon, right?
Yeah.
There's literally no resistance because we're at all-time highs, so it's just blue sky territory.
Blue sky
maybe
setup.
just a psychological level, but if you have the continuous things, positive catalysts stepping in here, I don't see any reason why we aren't going to continue to climb. I mean, especially individuals who are buying that previous all-time high at the break of 288. Congratulations, you're now with like $15 or $12 in the money there, roughly. So, I mean, I think we can continue to climb a little bit here. I know I've said that on multiple occasions. I said that countless times, and it's the same thing here with NVDA, 226. We printed a new all-time high here once again today. Google doing the exact same thing, only pennies away from another all-time high. We've moved pretty quick, pretty fast, and I mean, who's to say that we aren't going to do that until the market finds something in order for it to sell, but I don't know if that's going to be the narrative here for some of these larger participants. What we're going to do right now, though, is get involved in just a little bit of NVDA once more at the lower end of this range, exactly where I want to see. We punch through the consolidation, so we hop in at 119.46s. Man, this leverage product getting really expensive right now. Let's see from an appreciation standpoint what NVDL has done, Cherif. And we talk about these things not being investment vehicles, but what about just swinging these crazy momentum? This is 82% from that consolidation low here in NVDL compared to the actual underlying going to be cut in half, 42%, but that's still quite a bit from 164. So yeah, 40% there, but it's still not bad. You just have to be caught. Oh, wow, that was a hefty dump on that one. Let's get out. I thought we would find somewhat of a bounce at that support level. Not necessarily the case. We'll hold on to it. Maybe we head in towards the volume weighted average price there. DRAM decided to climb a little bit higher. Let's get over to my chart so we can see what we got going on. That one worked out for us. These little shorts worked out for us earlier in the day. So maybe this is the liquidity needed to be absorbed in order for us to start to climb and bull flag a little bit higher into that all-time high. If not, if it holds this level south of 119.40s, then we just get out of Dodge. We're not going to worry about.
Sorry, give me a sec.
Me, I'm not.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, do you continue to do your thing? I'm not going to worry about what this name is. I think at some point throughout the session, we will be able to find a rebound, even if it's just getting out when we're supposed to and waiting for it to come in towards the volume-weighted average price. So, yeah, let's be patient and wait for a couple of more opportunities. TSM doing the exact same thing. I know we're talking about the same names here over and over again. I heard Neil talking about SMCI this morning. I want to pull this one up here and see what we got going on. Super Micro. I know SCDI is all about these individuals here, the front office at Super Micro Computer. What is it? MAIE?
MEI.
MEI.
It's finding a little resistance.
Is
there,
it? So up to $14 there. I mean, that's pretty big. I thought Electronics. It did come in. It bounced right off of VWAP, and then sure enough, starting to recover a little on that name. Now, I want to head back over to AAPL because I think this is going to be a good opportunity here. We just have to be patient. Bro. Yeah, it's still going, man. It's grinding. So this volume print and the indecision candle that I was referring to not too long ago, invalid for now. It might take a little bit more time in order for this name to turn over. So be patient on that one, and we'll head over. We'll take a look at the crypto space if you guys want me to, but I just don't think it's hot right now. MSTR starting to come back in. It is north of the volume-weighted average price, right? But BMNR, $21. That's not horrible, but I mean, when you're not participating when the Nasdaq is climbing higher, then I just have no real interest for you. I mean, you know where I stand in the crypto space, but when you have a correlation when the factor is like, okay, we'll sell when the Nasdaq is selling, but you don't want to participate on the rally up, I have no reason to.
Understood.
Yeah.
We'll just shout out Dave. Thank you, Dave, for the $5 super chat there, Dave. You guys are great. Thoughts on the market divergence today, i.e. Apple versus Microsoft, boom shakalaka. I'm just going to say my opinion. We'll see what Joey has to say. But Apple obviously hasn't spent nearly as much money on CapEx as some of the other hyperscalers, including Meta. I think they've been a little bit rewarded with that, being able to hold on to the balance sheet a little bit better. But that may change. As we know, they're no longer going to be cash neutral. Cash debt neutral, excuse me. So there's going to be more spending that could come vis-a-vis buybacks, or it could come vis-a-vis investments, or a bit of both. So, that could change a little bit. But I think Microsoft is being just, some of the valuations that people were implying into Microsoft from OpenAI could be a bit of a headwind with OpenAI, some issues there going on as of late. We should probably talk about the Altman testimony yesterday because it was quite interesting. As well, I don't think that they're in the same business as well. Obviously Microsoft takes a more enterprise approach to AI. Apple is more of the consumer facing approach to AI. So I think we've definitely had a lot of value added to the enterprise section of AI. Perhaps the consumer angle comes next. We'll have to wait and see, right? Mm-hmm. But, Softy, it's not a bad stock at all. I don't mean to talk badly about Microsoft. I just think, they had their moment. They had that big move up. Where's Softy at?
It's not doing good, man.
Yeah, that double top into 560. I mean, that is a respectable move there. Yeah, sure. What are you 25% off the highs? 15?
27.
27% off the highs. So that's my take about that. I think that, the hyperscalers, with really the exception of Google, have been punished a little bit. You've seen Meta punished with the CapEx. You've seen Microsoft as well. Amazon, not really, though. That's the thing. Amazon's really weathered the storm a little bit better. I'm going to have to say that I think Amazon and Google have weathered the storm a little bit better because of the Trainium and the TPU, which could be, number one, cost saving for their AI build out because they design those chips. So it could save them some money as opposed to getting NVIDIA chips or designing it with Broadcom or Marvell and custom ASICs. And then number two, obviously they can start selling these chips. And we already saw Google realize revenue for the first time by selling their TPUs outside. So it's being used by other people. So I think those could be good revenue tailwinds as well for the Googles, for the Amazons. Not seeing that with Microsoft. I know Microsoft had its own internally designed chip, but I haven't heard much about it as of late. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just the monetization, essentially, of all of this CapEx we see. Even though Microsoft does have Azure, I like the point that Cherif brought up, is just maybe we have a little bit of a headwind with this OpenAI investment. Why? Because we know that Sam Altman and company did miss on monthly active users. But I think once that name, if it does IPO this year and then things turn around, then you'll see a little bit higher of a climb. We've seen that Amazon is also starting to turn a profit just because they're renting out so much of their space. So, I mean, so is Microsoft, but I think a lot of it has to do with OpenAI right now. And it's the same headwind with Meta. They're spending too much cash, but there's no real monetization of it just yet. It's like, okay, more digital, you can store more digital ad, but how much more ads are you going to put onto your social media platforms? They're maxed, dude.
Remember we talked about this?
Yeah,
Remember what Zuck said in the last report?
So
he
it's
can't
just like,
literally put any more ads. The only thing he can do to increase revenue is to charge more per ad. And that could create some demand destruction. Who knows? I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying that that's a possibility. And it's quite annoying now. I know you're not on Instagram. I know you're not on Facebook, so you don't see this as much as I do. But sometimes you're getting 2 ads in a row now. So you flip from one ad, you'll get another ad right after that. And then usually I'm talking about stories, by the way, right? So flipping through stories. And then sometimes, you would go 2 or 3 stories before you saw the next ad. Sometimes it's just 1 story now between ads. It's maxed.
Well, that's like YouTube now as well, right? Like sometimes before you even get into your video, it's 3 ads. Right? It's literally, if you're not on the paid tiers, so what does that do? Does that lead individuals to either just throw the platform away? Probably not, because social media addiction is real. So what do you have to do? You have to buy that premium subscription, which can equal more revenue, but we're not seeing that right now within Meta. I don't know why these guys, so we have MuseSpark.
Yep.
I think MuseSpark within Meta, and then what is the new LLM that they're coming out with, Avocado?
It was supposed to be Avocado, then there was another codename one that was coming from Alexander Wang.
Well, that was MuseSpark.
Okay, so that's what it is.
But who's talking about MuseSpark?
I haven't heard anything as of recently.
Like, let's try it out right now, because we can do that. Let's pull up MuseSpark and see if anybody's
Is it available?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I had no
they released
idea.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They've released it. They've released MuseSpark. It was a while ago, a couple of weeks ago, maybe closer to a month. But it's just like, hey, man, I don't understand why this company is spending all of this money and then deciding not to get into the cloud business.
Here it is.
The neo cloud business.
This is it. This is MuseSpark right here, from my understanding. How do we know which version we're using? Yeah, we'll have to play around with this, but I mean, I've never been on Meta's AI before.
No,
ever,
and who's really talking about this thing?
No one, man. I mean, they tried to put it into Facebook. They tried to put it into WhatsApp.
Yeah,
I
see that logo there.
It's there?
Yeah, on WhatsApp and stuff like that. Like, ask it the basic questions.
Right.
Let's ask it something. What can I do for you? Just ask it. What can you do for me?
Probably a lot, man. I don't
just ask. No, legit.
What can you do for me? All right, let's see it. All right, it wants me to log in, Joey. That's how annoying this is. All right, it's already lost me as a customer.
It's already done, so there
I'm playing.
That was it, man. I mean, it was that quick.
Joey, we got to talk about this because it's ripping. There goes TDIC into that 450 area, guys. We rejected this area before, and I really want to draw your attention to the resistance at 450 that we basically had all day. It is a 472 high on TDIC. Let's watch what this one does. If it clears decisively through that 4.5, we could be on the way to $0.75. And if we clear that, we could also be on the way to 5. I know that's obviously logical, but we're already getting resistance here at 4.5, so I don't know how this cookie crumbles. This has been a very consolidative trade with essentially 380 as support, random area to have support, not the $0.75, and essentially 450, 440 as support, and here we are, resistance, pardon me, and here we are again, man, into 449, lot of selling. Look at the topping tail candles on the 1 minute chart as sellers aggressively get short. or longs take profits at the high end of the range, that 450 range. But here we go. Keep your eye out on TDIC. It's going to be on a lot of people's radar because it's up 88%. A lot of volume too, a tight spread, 54.75 million shares traded, a 1 penny spread. Who can complain about that? We just need continuity through the half dollar, and we're certainly not getting it, at least on that attempt there. So we're going to keep an eye on that. TDI, that's crazy slow motion. That's crazy. How did that, you put it twice?
Oh,
but
man.
whatever there, slow motion. All right, brother.
You almost read that too, eh?
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to, because I saw what he put there before, so I was like, oh, maybe he qualified it. But MEI as well, let's not forget about this one, right? Back above 14, it is stair-stepping up. It's not rocketing up in the same way that it was doing before. But hey, it hasn't had a red candle for a while now. The last one was 115. On the 5-minute chart, that's about half an hour removed. So a lot of greenery here as people are buying this up. And look at the support at 12.5. Good support here at around that area. TDIC's back above the half dollar. Here it is, 53s. Can it close? Can it move into the 60s? There it goes, Katina, man, into $5. This thing's gonna halt up. What a move. 4,528. Here's the halt parameter, guys. What a rocket ship. TDIC is 123%, and we're gonna halt, guys, at 528, 3, 2, and there it is. Halt time, 144.16. Halt price, 528. Tap showing 540, dropping down into 530 now. Earliest this will be open is 149.16. What a move up on TDIC. Joey, look at the black charts over here, and look at that. In one fell swoop.
That's crazy, man. And
what a break.
Broke that. How do you even get in on that on time?
It was ripping. I was like, okay, here comes $5. I'll get in. But it just ripped up. 528 high, guys. We're going to keep an eye out on this one. Tap showing 528, so basically the same price as the halt level. So now we can focus on MEIs. That one's still dilly-dallying, but it is above $14 and has been for a while. So perhaps an entry here right around 14 with maybe, 13, mid-80s, high 80s stop, Joey.
Good stuff. Let's head over to our options chain here, guys, because I'm just watching this market continuously climb higher and higher. And I'm just like over here like, oh? Yeah, like what? Hello, wake up. Too many espressos this morning, man. All right, let's head over to the SPY. No, this guy Cherif got me addicted to caffeine.
I did?
I'm only
brother.
I'm only playing.
No, Assassino, he's making that up, man.
Yeah,
he was bringing his own spros over there,
yeah.
right? All of a sudden, he was talking about 1 spro a day. Now there are 3.
Yeah, they're doubles too, man. You gotta chill on that stuff. Yeah, seriously. I mean, here it is. Let's take a look at this $742 level. A couple of spros there, and then that 740 marker in which we were talking about this morning. These guys are now ITM, right? So 21,000 contracts open and closed. It's going to be the largest on this week's expiration. If we head over to the 0 DTE, we're going to see a lot more size, probably around that zone. So let's do that now. Times that by 100. That is an insane amount of volume coming in on the SPY at that $740 marker, and we're holding $2.65 above that. Almost 500,000 contracts traded at that zone. I wouldn't be surprised if we do breach that level by the end of the day. 500,000 contracts at 740, and we're still holding up really strong. Look at the implied volatility really fall off a cliff too. We've seen that around 18%, 20% not too long ago. And as we continue to climb and less fear in the market steps in, the volatility is going to creep lower. And we talk about this time and time again. Right? Like we talk about this quite often. I want to pull up the chart. I don't know why when I wanted to pull up the chart. Let's see, VIX, Why does it do that here? I'm going to pull it up on a different thing here. Sorry, guys, for that.
You want me to take over?
No, it's okay. We're going to take a look at the VIX and why I believe in buying the puts in the VIX is smarter than buying calls, because it just is, to be honest with you. Why? Because you'll always see, no matter how high the VIX climbs, it always comes back to that median of around $14 or $15. Once again, you get that pop into 35, and then you see that come back in. Instead of anticipating, yeah, there's a good time. Like, I understand when you have a conflict, like what was going on, you hear bombs dropping, but there's only a limited time frame in which you can get involved with this. Yeah, we see increases in implied volatility. You have the conflicts, you have high level catalysts step into the market, but it's hard to anticipate that. And by the time that happens, you see the spike in the VIX happen relatively quick, opposed to just being patient and waiting for things to really come to you. And I think that's exactly what we got going on. Ceasefire notice, okay, cool. Maybe we'll see some volatility start to slowly cool down, and that's exactly what happened, right? We have that multiple week ceasefire, and then what happens? The market's like, okay, that's all we need in order for us to ignite this absolute, this is a horrible analogy, rocket for the market to continue to climb. And then you have the majority of the Mag 7 reaching new all-time highs, with the exception of a few. I mean, so I just believe that buying VIX puts is the more and highly profitable and higher accuracy strategy.
Hey, that's great. All great points, man. Guys, the tap now on TDIC is showing 528. So it's the same area where we left it at, because that's the halt price. 528 on TDIC. This is a NASDAQ name, so you know we should be getting updates here, and I haven't really seen it move. Shut up. It's open. It's open. Here we go. Ripping into 588, 589 high, right back into the $0.75. Here comes the $0.50. There goes the $0.50 into a third, right back above Joey. The candle low, 537. Okay, the halt price, 528. You have a possible buy area here, but it looks like this buyers are stepping in at around the $0.75, Joey, as there's buyers in the mid-80s and mid-70s. Wowzers, 641. Wow. It moved in a half second. We were at 575, and now it's going to halt up at 641. TDIC is absolutely ripping to the high side. We're halted again, $6.41. Halt time exactly at 150. So we know when it's going to open. Earliest it'll be open is 155 on the dot. The tap showing 674 now. What a move up here for TDIC. Shouldn't have hesitated, should have punched in, but hey, it wasn't part of my plan. I was actually looking for that move back down into the third to the $0.25. Didn't happen. Keep your eye out on that. I also want to mention Meta's having a good day. Shout out to Scott Tomlinson for pointing this out. I didn't even realize that Meta is up quietly here. What is it up? 2.25%. So fantastic look for Meta, right into 616. It's been a buy all day, essentially holding the 10 EMA on the 5 all afternoon, ever since reclaiming it at around 1120. So Meta, fantastic look there. Good look for Meta. Google into, is this all-time highs for the L, for GOGL?
Yeah, not far off.
This is the all-time highs, right? 402 and a quarter, Katina, man. We're back right there above 400 on goggles. It is absolutely strong on the day. By far, the strongest Mag 7 name today is GOGL, up 3 4/5. The dead one, Apple, also right back into that 301 area, 392 all-time highs. But it Meta, Google, Apple, Tesla. Is Tesla looking good? Is it off the highs? Let's have a quick look here at Tesla. A little bit off the highs, 453, starting to trend back a little bit now. Not a bad look here for all these Mag 7 names. The only one that's red on the day, sadly, Microsoft. So you win some, you lose some. Shout out to my Osan, 6.7. Yeah, brother. Well, not quite 6.7 here. It's halted at 641, but a very, very strong name on TDIC. 2 up halts in a row. It was all gas, no brakes, guys. So we'll keep you guys apprised of the halt. The tap. Joey, it's not looking good at the moment.
For these guys, is the tap drop in there?
The tap is 559. And we halted at 641.
Yeah, damn.
So right now it looks a little bit tenuous, but we shall keep an eye out on that. And while you keep an eye out on that, let me tell you about this. AIIO is making a move. Here it is again, right into 235, 231. The high of the day is 245. A very, very you know, clean, higher low. Look, there it is, man, right into 235 again. When one of these halts, all the degens like myself, they got to punch into something, and there it goes, Joey, into 240. AIIO, only about 5 pennies now off the day high. Keep your eye on this one. It could see the $0.50 sooner rather than later. And then, you know, if we really get going, who knows? AIIO could be a squeezer into 3, especially if we can take out that $0.50 and $0.50 decisively. It's up a respectable 86.75% on the day. So keep your eye out on these two, man. It is TDIC, it is AIIO. I'm in Melly. I'm about 5 or 6 pennies out of the money on Melly, but there keeps MEI. Sorry, I said Melly. I didn't mean that. It's a different name. MEI, there seems to be a buyer in and around 14, but just full disclosure here, we just breached prior bar low on MEI. I'm giving this to the high 80s. Let's see how it does. But there's a lot going on right now, guys, in small cap gapper world. And there goes AII, Joey, into a new high of day, 247. This one's on the way to 250. A lot of strength. What did I tell you about AIIO? 269 easy, says Ozan. Ozan, you're right, I'm wrong. And there it goes into the $0.50. AIIO really taking off. Look at that green candle, man. The best looking green candle in the day.
Yeah, that's
far and away.
One.
Far and away. And there it goes, Joey, into 260. It is really going now, 101%, while the other one is halted. So we're going to keep tabs on these. Only 6 minutes left on the show, man.
I know, man.
Goodness gracious. I'm going to hit the gym, then I got to come back.
Okay.
Because we're going to get ready.
Time's the game at 3, isn't it?
No.
Is it at 7 o'clock
yeah,
today?
But we're going to leave the office here at 5 and change. So we'll have to come back.
You're putting a shift in there then.
Honestly, I might leave a little bit early.
The game.
Yeah. Just because it's like by the time I get home, it might be.
It's going to be.
It's
exactly,
going to be right, and I have to be up at 5 a.m., which is already troublesome in and of itself. Neil, what time do the 7 o'clock games typically finish? 10:30. Yeah. So I might have to leave.
Depending on the score.
That's extreme. Yeah. Okay.
Neil, are you going to the game? Got baseball practice. So he's actually playing. Katina, man, I don't think you're going. You're going to Soda. You have a game until 10 tonight, so those guys aren't going. So catch. Adara, are you going to the baseball game tonight?
I am.
Okay, right on, man. I hope you guys enjoy.
I think Sia's going as well.
Bring that good juju to the Toronto Blue Jays. Hopefully they can squeeze out a win there for you guys.
It's in a skybox, eh?
I know. I heard you guys are going to be enjoying.
I was looking at some of the options there they had for the different boxes, the TD boxes. Some of them have pool tables.
So what are you doing? What are you doing playing pool when you have a professional baseball game?
In between innings, I guess.
So is that shit? I mean, I'm not going to go there because I might.
Well, they have it there for a reason.
Yeah,
so,
well, I know. I was going to say something, but.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyways, what I was going to
No, Joey, TDIC's taking off, man.
Okay.
704 high. I mean, it's all gas, no brakes. Buyer at 660, lost. 660 buyer again, guys. There's a buyer right there. $0.50 to 60 pennies. Watch out, though. Topping tail candle, 704. We're dipping down aggressively now. It looks like we're going to lose $6 here, Joey. This might hold down. I can't quite see what limit down is because it hasn't flashed quite yet, but we'll give you that as soon as we can get it. But TDIC is all over the place here, man.
All right, yeah. So I wanted to touch on this because I like what Jesse Martinez said in the chat, just in regards to some of these SPY contracts and why some of these zero DTE trades can be really profitable. You have to be in the right direction, as obvious as that may seem. But if you were to purchase this contract just slightly after the open, 15 minutes to be exact to where it's currently trading at. So you're like, hey, I'm going to buy this OTM. We're sitting at that 740 call. We open up around 737. Okay, so you see a 920% return in this, and it was only really valued at it was around $30 for this contract, now worth $269. That's where the real big return starts to come into play. Now, you'd want to close this out before the end of the day, but I just wanted to point that out. But if you're looking to get into the zero DTE, more or less, you want to have fun with it. I would put up like a quarter of your risk. If you truly are bullish, and you can't go wrong, apparently, in the past month or so with just buying the open in the market are waiting for things to bottom, and then they eventually get bought up. But yeah, really big returns here, especially when you don't have to risk anything. The max you can lose on this specific contract is $26. So if your daily risk is $50 and you want to put up half of that for a potential big time return, you 920% in that specific contract. It's the same thing with the NASDAQ. I just wanted to point that out. That's why a lot of people have fun with them. I never didn't, nor did I build myself a large enough sample set in order to get involved with that. But nonetheless, it's pretty fun. So yeah, big time returns in short periods of times when you are buying these 0DT out of the money contracts. Out of the money is substantially different. You'll see probably about a 20 to 30% variance in between something that's in the money and out of the money. So I just wanted to point that out for everyone.
Great point, man. Great point. We took out, at least for the moment, the seller there at 12, but right back down we go on MEI. I'm running out of patience with this trade. I mean, I'm looking for a move above the $0.25. There we go, back into 19s. I haven't taken anything out. It's been generally holding up above 14, so I feel like I'm not in the right to take this out because it's not giving me a reason to take it out, but the show's winding down. I got to hit the gym, so we're not really holding a big position. Let's see if we can price spike up. Let's take out the $0.25 here, but I want to bring your attention to QUCY. It's also making a move. It's kind of reawoken here up into 80 pennies. There's a lot moving, man. TDIC's heading down. AIIO's losing the $0.50, and QUCY wants to rip up above 80 pennies. I do anticipate some resistance at 80 because we have had it basically intraday on that level. A lot to talk about today, guys. There was a lot of small cap gappers moving here in the midday show, a lot more than is typical. There's TDIC is still holding that candle low. So I want to give you the candle that opened up after the halt has a low of 537. We're at 447, right back above the $0.50 here for TDIC. So it looks like some buyers are stepping in right around the $0.50. So we don't lose that post-candle low, post-halt candle low. Again, I just want to remind you guys, 537 candle low. Current candle low, though, 548. So we definitely hold up above it. Let's see if we can get back above 6. It's about 30 seconds left on the show, Joey. What do you got in plan? Oh, Selena's back. She came back on Monday.
Yeah, she's back.
You didn't tell me anything. How was her trip? How was everything?
Good. Yeah, she had a good time.
Yeah?
She had a layover in Halifax, and sure enough, her luggage didn't come with her, so it just got delivered
Why would
today.
it?
Yeah, exactly. So she actually they got it delivered today.
Nice.
So yeah, but they said if you're when you don't have anything, we'll pay you to replace everything, right? So I said go buy a new.
Right?
I think so, but go buy an Apple Watch and
100%. But does she want her clothes?
Yeah, but she got her clothes back.
She got her clothes. I got you.
She got everything back now. So
all right.
Yeah. Other than that, everything's good. I got to head over, pick up Milo some flea medication after the day's done. Other than that, it's the same narrative, man. Hit the gym, cook some food, barbecue. I got the barbecue running over the weekend.
You got the barbecue running. Nice. Nice condo there. They allow them to have a barbecue, not like the dinosaurs at my condo.
Yeah. So I think that's...
You know, Brendo's got a gas hookup.
I know, you were telling me the nat gas hookup there.
And I can't even have like an electric barbecue.
Really? I would do it anyways, man.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling
anyways.
you, they live to enforce these rules there. They don't have jobs. They're retired. You know, they're just around there.
It's so lame, man. I don't want to get started on the over-regulation, but people are just super lame and stuff. It's annoying, man.
It is what it is.
What is it to you, favorite barbecue?
Yeah, well.
I think barbecue smell is one of the best smells on
100%.
Right? And
dude, the annual meeting was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I showed up.
There?
It was 7. I showed up at 7:03. Yeah. They had gone through like a quarter of the list already? They're so eager, right? Because they show up early for everything, right? They're all retirees, God bless them, right? But it got chaotic.
Did it?
Yeah, the property manager got super defensive and she was yelling back at people.
No.
Yeah, it got super crazy.
Did you say anything?
I didn't. I just asked about electric vehicle parking because they're gonna install. They're gonna install.
Yeah,
the one for the visitor, and then everybody else has to install their own.
What was the big issue at your board meeting there?
The big.
Yeah, what was the?
It was like the dumbest issues that have been
like the gardening club and stuff like that.
No, man, because like they put a light system, right, for incoming vehicles have the right of way, so the outgoing vehicles have a traffic light that they stop at. And nobody follows the rules.
Yeah,
Everyone's
I
like
wouldn't.
pointing the finger at each other. It's like, I've seen this guy do it. And it's
So
it's
lame,
such
man.
narking anyway, but it is what it is. That's enough of that.
So lame, man.
2 minutes over there, Joey.
I was I'm not even gonna get into
Niels
that.
Long, MEI.